Hey, what's up, everybody? So, I will say this anybody that prays to our Creator, Heavenly Father, I would say pray for Israel for strength and wisdom because they need it. I think the last I heard was over 900 fatalities and a little over 100 were kidnapped. So, morning, everybody. What's up? Appreciate y'all being here. I will say, Mr. Tony, yeah, I believe it's real. It's just not real like they're portraying it. I think that there's some Ukrainians getting their asses kicked right now, but they're not going to tell you that. So that's why I think that appears. That's why you don't see footage because they can't deliver anything righteous in that area. So yeah, and I'm inside today. I don't know that I'll be outside today. Might wait till tomorrow. I think I'm gonna try to do every other day. I'm gonna try to do something. No, I don't do too much too fast. And we'll see who pops up. Yeah, Tony, that's it. Well, that's why they've intentionally provoked this because of just that. You know, it's a twofold thing. One, they can funnel money through it, and then they can also instigate a conflict and bring down, a major superpower. And because that's, you talk on the enemy of my enemy is my friend phrase. There's some meaning to that in different levels. And it's like, I was raised with the big bad Russian bear. You can hear him in the background, I'm sure, because he can hear me talking. I bump shit in here and can look out that window and he stares right over here at me. I tell you, he's an ass, man. He is an asshat. But anyway, I figured we got a Taco Tuesday. I woke up this morning, so I'm here for another day. Find something to do. Figure I'll talk to you guys. Might end up having some chicken noodle soup later, fresh. Oh, man. So we got people have died in Ukraine and I guess Russia too, but I think Putin could have invaded, flattened everything government. Oh, that's just it. See, he could have, but that was never the intention. It's just that they've painted the picture of the invasion. It's kind of like the whole insurrection thing, even though that was never legit, but they just keep saying it like, well, if we say it enough, eventually people will just pick up that word and run with it. But all he did was kept telling them to back off. Don't put NATO here. Don't come in here. Back off, back off, back off. And they didn't back off. And then the Donbass and Crimea region actually held their own damn voting and said, hey, we want to be part of Russia. We're tired of the Ukraine, jacking with us. And so they joined Russia. Well, Russia came in going, okay, well, you need to leave them alone. That's part of Russia. And they basically are going, this is how we can provoke a fight. And so, because I personally think that that's why that dude doesn't just decimate that place. He's not trying to have the conflict. He knows what a world war would do. The one thing about him, all these other little leaders that we have, they go in and out, in and out, in and out. That dude has been sitting there for well over a decade plus. So he has sat in one spot and watched our administration change hands. He's watched other administrations change hands. I think he sees a different viewpoint of the game. That's just my take. What's up, Wizard? So I think well, I firmly believe he could decimate the damn thing if he wanted to. And it's see, they don't tell you this part, but we did the same shit with the Cuban Missile Crisis. See, don't forget about the Cuban Missile Crisis. They decided to park some shit off our coast. We said, hey, you know what? That's just a little too close for us. I think you need to back your ass on up a little bit. And if you don't, this is going to get serious. Well, dude, we see, they don't tell you. It's like this whole Ukraine shit. They don't tell you how well the NATO and us, we violated like, I don't know how many treaties where we've agreed not to do things that we did. We won't build a base over there. Okay, well, we built a base. Well, we won't build one over here. Okay, well, we did. Well, we won't build it over here, though. Oh, well, we did. Well, we won't go into Ukraine. Well, okay, we did. And it's just like at one point you go, enough's enough. What's up, Papa's Farm? So I think that's your how do you say it? So between this is like a multifaceted movie. You've got crooked politicians that are painting a narrative. You got some globalists that are painting this narrative. Then you have the media that's painting a narrative. I mean, they're all bad, but I just think that, I don't know, man, focus on the here. It's kind of what I took. I pray for Israel. That's pretty drastic, man. That's the stuff they did. And see, it's just like that. You watch, there'll be the downplay of the media. You'll hear about that. You're going to hear about the conflict, but you're going to start hearing the aggression that Israel's doing in the Gaza Strip. That's what you'll start hearing, is that kind of shit. And it's because they're going to change and paint that narrative. So it's just, that just, I got to say too, discernment, that word I think is, I don't know, I think it's been hijacked some, because it doesn't mean to find a narrative that you agree with. It means to actually look at factual stuff, you know. So it's just, and I would say people are, closer to metropolitan cities, anybody that lives close to these cities. And if you've watched these waves, I would definitely be keeping your head on a swivel, because there's a reason why we literally have people that won't address that. Think about that. Regardless of all the weird shit, there's just, why are you not addressing? We have a whole political party and we have a news media that refuses to acknowledge 6, 7 million people that have come across that border. And you can, if you go into the whole Schwab thing, and I get that, but you got to, keep it where it's controllable. And you kind of wonder. So it's the thinking. So to me, you can focus on all the bigger shit that you really can't handle, or you focus on what you can. What you can is your local DAs, and there's your crime. Your local judges, there's your law and order. So when you want to address those things, and look at Illinois, dude. What, Illinois passed the law where you don't even have to be a damn citizen to be on their law enforcement. See, how did that happen? That happened because of those elected people. So when you don't like those, you remove those elected people. But they screen things and they pollute conversations to where they think that it doesn't matter, and you're just kind of wandering around, and you're like the sheep in the big pasture. You just don't realize it, but you're slowly being migrated towards the corner of that corral. Hey, Watchman. What's up, Dennis? Morning. But I'll just point out the obvious. Look at the protest, the vocalness over pro-Palestinian stuff. This isn't a political thing. These people literally went in and slaughtered civilians intentionally. They literally went door to door slaughtering families. They did kidnap people, women and children and stuff, and took them back. So you got over 900 that have been slaughtered. This wasn't a military engagement. It was like, hey, we're going to go and attack a military base over in Israel. No, no, no. They went to where it was civilian. So it's not political, man. And this even trying to play like it's religion, it's fallen into the narrative. It's not. It's just that's pure ass evil. It's murder. So you got to stick on the facts, stick on what it is. They play this, oh, well, it's religion and it's this. No, 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 no. Hey, morning, Miss Nancy. So much of this verbiage, man, word salad shit, and it gets the factual meaning of things get lost. There's a book I know, and it talks about like your yes be yes and your no be no, but which sounds kind of factual, like it ought to be simple enough. Morning, Miss Sharon. And they're fixing to, and I will say, because here is one concern here, and is because Hezbollah has already come out and said if the U.S. helps Israel, then they're going to attack America. And you say, well, yeah, but that's just talk. Well, but is it? Because they just did something that has not ever happened before. They literally coordinated attack on Israel, made it an invaded attack on a civilian population, and slaughtered over 900, kidnapped over 100. That hasn't happened before. The rocket things, those have been going on. Anybody my age or thereabouts, you've always heard that. That's why we did the Iron Dome, was just for that purpose. So, but it's that next step up. So it's like, okay, so if that's the next step up, and if Hezbollah has made that, you've got people over here in major cities, New York, over here in California, down in Florida, and it's all this pro-Palestinian thing. Okay, cool. And then you go, wait a minute, they just said if we got involved, and then you turn around and see that we're talking about sending aid to Israel, which is cool. We ought to do that. But it's like, okay, so then now I guess we're fixing to test those waters. Did they mean what they said? Did they say what they mean? Hey, what's up, prepping artist? Kelly or Rambo? I'm not sure which. People turning now east. Very concerning events coming sooner or later with the Eagles getting right, Tony. And you just kind of, but see, it's not unaddressable. I'm not saying it's going to be paradise afterwards, because it's just, but to get to the better side of things, it's focusing, and it's getting back on your local track, getting back. There's something to be said about losing that American national pride type thing. And by breaking all that down, it's breaking down all your local stuff. What's up, Mike? Hudson Valley. Hey, if you guys want to see some prepping stuff and, different techniques and stuff, plus Hudson, if you're up around the Northeast area, he sponsors and then does events. Definitely worth checking out his channel. If you want, might pop your channel a link down for anybody that doesn't have it. Hey, Astua. Well, see and that's just it. It's like Soros has even realized, and that's why he's dumping money into these little groups that go into these cities. And that's where these DAs and judges and shit are coming from. That's where these city council people are coming from. That's where you end up with representatives in a state, Illinois. And they just decide that, hey, who the hell thought that shit through? You don't have to be an American citizen to be law enforcement, here in this state. What? Who? What? So, but it's right here. And you think, oh, well, there's global bad shit, but it's right here. It's like, who's going to fixing to send money? Who's been sending money to Ukraine? Those elected people up there. They're just people. They're people. Change the people. Change the people, you change the message. Hey, what's up, Jeep? Hope you had a good time at the meetup in North Carolina. It looked like y'all had a good little time. City council are being taken over by you. That's it. See, it's the city, these mayors, the mayors are the ones hiring the city police. So you just got to follow the food chain, and I think a lot of it is because a lot of us have become so complacent. I said it actually for a couple of years. We plateaued. We became spoiled instead of like trying to discover how to build the next cell phone. We just started focusing on who's going to release the next model kind of thing. So we lost the drive, instead of striving to improve and design something and discover something, we just accepted what was here and just started taking new models. It's like when you look at cars have actually regressed. They've gotten shittier. They look cooler, but they run shittier. I'm afraid we will find out soon what Slow Joe's open board. Oh, yeah. Oh, trust me. Hey, I'm not far from Colonial Ridge. Y'all feel free to look that up. That's like one of the largest illegal immigrant sections. That thing's houses like 75,000 people. What's up? Here's my buddy.
What up, everybody in chat? What up, Rescue? How y'all doing?
I woke up, thought, well, he's telling me I need to find something to do. So I figured, well, I'll talk to everybody and see what's up.
All right. How y'all doing this morning in chat, everybody?
We were talking a little bit about the different Ukraine, the Israel stuff, kind of the whole direction of stuff. We got the illegals and we got Hezbollah threatening the U.S.
I've been listening a little. I've had a couple of things to do real quick before I could sit down and jump on. Yeah, man. I tell you, dude, it's really funny that they talk all that shit about, some of these squad members and stuff,
Yeah.
They're talking this stuff about well, maybe they're just tired of getting their boot in their neck, and kind of justifying the attack. And I think to myself, I'm like, well, then how can you turn around and say J6 was not the same thing the Palestinians were thinking? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Americans were tired of the boot in their neck. Maybe they really felt that they were being mistreated. Maybe they really felt, these J6ers, maybe they really felt that Pence wasn't doing his job. Because, the thing about it is Pence, that whole thing to me is Pence's fault. Because Pence he had even admitted it. All he'd had to do was just say, hey, let's back up and let's just go through and make sure that there's not any shenanigans. And then once there's no shenanigans, as you know what I mean, then we'll do the peaceful transfer of power. But see, they want these Democrats, they want to have it one way when it's on their side, when it's something they believe in, but they'll go completely the opposite direction when it's something they don't believe in. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's
dude, I firmly believe that if and I know all the anti-Trumpers are going to love this, but I firmly believe had that dude not got elected, we would be 5 times worse than we are now.
Oh,
but here's the thing: there wouldn't be as many people awake to it. It would have been such a slow roast, just like what got us here. We would have just shifted over into Hillary. we'd have done our little working. We'd have been bitching about the politics as we watched the news, and we'd have been going, "Oh, I can't believe this, man! My tax is going up. What kind of shit is this? Blah 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 blah."
Mm-hmm.
And then it would have just kept rolling. So his interruption is what caused it. It was like somebody threw a rock in their little pool of tranquility, and all of a sudden the ripples went out. And it was like, wait, what? And it's like, this is shit crazy. And here we are now. So yeah,
Yeah,
people can go
I
orange man bad, but
I agree with what Watchman's saying. With Halloween coming up, it's,
mm-hmm.
these damn Palestinians and stuff, man, over there in Gaza. It's there's been so many people come across our border. I mean, like, there has been a ton of people coming across our border. And I saw an article a couple of days ago where someone was just looking at pictures of all these people coming across, and this guy spotted an MS-13 member who got across and is gone.
Dude, you say border, and people mentally are just assuming Mexican because of Mexico, but they don't get
Right.
it. No, over 160 different country nationalities have come across that border. So over 160 different nationalities.
Right.
Matter of fact, when the Haitians and Africans and Middle Easterns get to places like Venezuela and shit, they bust them up and send them to the other side of their country because they don't want them there. So, I mean, there's really Chinese teams over here.
Yes, and see, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Hezbollah has done, or has Hamas has done said they've come out and threatened and said that what we've seen in Israel is about to happen in a lot of places. And
Hezbollah basically flat out threatened us and said, if you go and help Israel,
yes.
we're attacking you. And it's
Yes.
like, okay, well, then you kind of look at these little things and it's like, wait a minute, look at all this in New York, Florida, California. It's like, so in the flip of a switch, are those 100, 125, 150 people all of a sudden going to become different? And so that's why those cities, man, to hell with that city shit.
Yeah,
And I told you about the dudes over here in the woods by me, dude, in Southeast Texas. How crazy is this? But there's 20 guys that were doing some jogging down a road. Somebody noticed it looked weird. So it got said. Well, then somebody who drove by and went ahead and stopped and talked to them. Come to find out, these dudes are from France. Mm-hmm. So these are 20 individuals from France that came down here and they're doing bodyguard training.
Well, see, here's the thing, man. You got these like Halloween, for instance, and if you start looking on a religious aspect of things, it's a pagan holiday. And really and truly, from a religious standpoint, the Halloween is kind of an evil type holiday. You know what I'm saying? And it's you get these Hamas people, you get these jihadis, these people that follow this religion. They hate like women dressing, revealing. They don't like Western culture at all.
Oh no,
so Halloween, if you think about it, dude, and I've said something. I said something to my wife last night about this too, and I said, with all these protests going on, and you think about it, they could, because I know they know how to network and talk to each other, right? They put out a deal and say, hey, get all these people and protest, get out in the streets in America. Because see, here's what's scary. These people like to blow themselves up.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And now you got these big protests going on. They don't mind to kill some of their own. You know what I mean? To kill Americans or to kill Westerners or those, the infidels. They don't mind to kill infidels. And
dude, we gave them weapons. We gave them money. We gave them 5,000 troops. released out of there that we've been spending 20 years gathering up. So I mean, there's like a whole army of hatred towards America, and they've been letting them in. It's like when you listen to the things in the committees where they're pop people across, hell, it's over a dozen known terrorists. Like, hey, wow, this name is actually on the list. This dude shouldn't even be out here. Bam, got him. Well, how many didn't we get? And we won't know that until it goes off.
Well, my biggest thing is Halloween could be very significant. It would be a very easy way to target people, because over the years, if you've noticed, Halloween has become more of a centralized location of things. Basically, the door to door knocks ain't as big as it used to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know people as well. So a whole bunch of places host these Halloween party type things. These
Parks. They do them in parks a lot now.
parks. They do them in city squares. See, we do ours in our city square now. And a bunch of people and vendors and stuff line up out there and have little booths and stuff set up. And there's police around, there's a few police around or whatever, but that's where all the kids go now. So they're more in a centralized location.
Yep.
So you have to, you start thinking about these. And I know that simple old backwoods over here can look at stuff like this and go, man, they could get these protests going. Boom, man, hit piece.
Dude,
bam.
You just had Hamas coordinate, whether it was with Iran's help, whether it was whoever's, but they coordinated an attack on Israel with damn hang gliders into a festival with intentions of just going in there, killing, carjacking vehicles, grabbing people, and then heading to escape. So they planned that. And these are people that they knew what the response was. Over here, we got people that are busy stuck up and going into damn McDonald's and shit. So hell, we're so easy. That was a country that was waiting for their shit. We're not waiting for nothing. Hell, we think we're untouchable. We're so sitting back in our AC and heated homes with all our little Uber deliveries and shit and our paved roads. And I mean, I don't want to sound like the damn Debbie Downer, but dude, we're so comfortable over here that it's complacency has just brought us to this. Complacency is called, wow, I don't want to get up at dawn. I don't want to put my boots on. I don't want to go to work, pay attention to the school board of the people that's raising my kid. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to hold down a job because, oh, damn, this is just asking too much of me. I should just be able to just sit around and do whatever. And you have a whole generation that doesn't even understand the concept of pride in doing work. The pride of you're participating. You're helping society by keeping the infrastructure going. You get up and go to work. Quit bitching about taxes and go keep the lines going. Then people have electricity. Oh my God, shock and awe. Wow.
Ohio.
Power out. What's up, Ohio? Canadian.
Ohio, my beautiful sister. How are you? Yeah.
I get flustered, man, because it's like this. That'll be the stuff that gets us, man. It's going to be the complacency. It's going to be that I don't really want to get involved. I'm not really confrontational. And you're going to see that group of people before this goes off. So it's like the Boston Marathon type shit. Only it'll be worse because you'll literally see the dude walking down the middle of the street with the fucking pressure cooker. And there'll just be people standing going, oh my goodness. Well, it's none of my business. And he'll just set the damn thing down and he'll set it and go off and boom. And then people will be like, oh my God, I thought I saw that guy too. But think about it, man. People watch people get flipping murdered. And this is what they're worried about is this. This is a TikTok video. And it's like, what?
Yeah, that's there's dude, I feel there's this is a possible, worldwide event, that where multiple targets throughout the world could be hit, multiple, what I'm saying, at the same time. These people, man, they believe in dying for their cause. They want to die doing this, and become that martyr, become that, that 70 virgins or whatever, that they get. dude, it's
Excuse me.
yeah, Halloween is something, I seen somebody say in the chat a minute ago, said to
That's the
this is
prime
when you
cover.
this is when you should start when you need to start carrying a firearm around everywhere you go. Well, I've been doing that for a long time. It's what's that one credit card company? Capital One.
Capital One. What's in
Don't
your
leave
wallet?
home. Yeah, don't leave home without it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
What's in your wallet. Well,
Needs to be a Glock commercial.
yeah. Yeah, don't leave home without it. What's in your wallet. My sidearm. I mean, it's obviously not in the wallet, but the gist of it.
That's it.
It's yeah, man. Anybody that goes anywhere without a weapon, I'm telling you at this point, I'm not telling anybody to do anything harmful or illegal or anything like that.
Man, shit, it's the fan. You need to become
But
Southwest Bell and reach out and touch someone is all I can say.
I'm just saying, I would rather be
What's up, Corn
judged
Pop?
by 12 than carried by 6. I'm
That's it.
just saying. I would not.
Hey, if it's any consolation, in most of the prisons, you get air conditioning and TV anyway. So
I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care
Devil
what
Dog
state you're in. I wouldn't give a shit about the laws. I'm just telling you what me personally. I'm not telling anybody else to do anything illegal or anything like that. But I wouldn't give a shit what the laws are. I would pack a gun on me at all times. I mean, just not there's a big difference
exactly what.
there's a big difference in being ready and being paranoid. You know what I mean? There's a big difference. There's nothing wrong with packing a knife on your sidearm, a couple of backup mags. Put your shirt on, go down the road. Pay attention to what's going on. Everything's cool. You don't have to run around looking around going, oh, God dang, man, am I going to get attacked? Is there something? You got to be paranoid. Just arm up. It's no different than making sure your spare tire on your vehicle is good. You make sure you
See,
got a
there's
spare
actually a
tire.
whole generation that doesn't do that either backwards.
Well, I know. Well, not a whole generation,
Well,
but
almost a whole generation.
yeah. Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
so it's one of them deals, brother, where this whole thing and with what they're threatening, these people people can say what they want, man, but these people don't make a lot of idle threats. You know what I mean? They are capable and willing to back up what they say.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, let's do it. See, this is where, and I'm just gonna. This is my 2 cents on that because I've heard people are like, oh, Israel knew. I firmly believe that what they've spent the last who knows how long, up to a decade or whatever, because it's the same thing that happens over here in the prison systems with the gangs. You end up with a whole level of people that you don't want to get in trouble. You don't want them attached to anything. You want them to be just spick span clean, and then they go land the jobs in the mail rooms, in the administration rooms. And well, it would not surprise me if people went over there and infiltrated that and got into some key things, because it's the same thing that's been happening here. Think about it. We didn't flip switch until all of a sudden he got in and he put key people into you're the energy secretary. Oh, you're Homeland Security. Next thing you know, our financial shit's going to shit. Our borders are wide open. You got Millie, and they're like, yeah, now you can do what you want to do. And next thing you know, we're losing half our military because you're forcing them out. And people have learned you can run out and fight the good fight, just be a warm body in a herd, or you can sit there and strategically go, you know what? The mob used to do this shit back in the day. We're just going to go ahead and get somebody off into the back end of that, and then they can control it. And the next thing you know, the war isn't about all the bodies running out. You can now affect them from the inside, just like us. We're collapsing from the inside because they finally got into positions that they can change the way we handle things. They're what makes Detroit do what Detroit does, because they got into that mayor position, the city council position, and they said, hey, free reign. You know, this is what makes this shit happen.
Well, I
I
wanted
think
to
people have
say
that.
to Tony, like not everybody is comfortable carrying open, and not everybody should carry open. And if you are going to open carry, get you a retention type holster. A retention type holster means that you've got to push some type of a button. You have to unlock some type of thing with your finger before you can pull the weapon. The reason why I say that is because, if you just have if you're open carrying and you just have a weapon on your side with no type of retention holster, the gun can easily be grabbed from behind, pulled right out. If it's a retention holster, they have to put their hand down and get onto the button. You know what I'm saying? And it'll give you that minute, that second to
Age
grab.
old saying, don't bring anything to a fight you don't want used on you.
Right. But yeah, that's all I'm saying is I agree with packing a weapon. Man, if you got the means to at all carry a weapon, whether it's in your purse, whether it's on your side, whether it's inside the waistband, outside the waistband, in your
Yeah, you should
pocket,
always have something on you,
have
whether it's
something on
visible
you.
or not. I don't know. That to me, I'm with you. It depends on your surroundings. Around here, yeah, you could walk with it hanging off your hip. Would I go down into Houston or some shit, or go up to Dallas or that? And
Mhm.
no, I wouldn't, because
Well,
you're an eye target then. So if anybody does want to do anything, you're going to be the first one they want to take out because they know you're packing.
well, there's
I
that
wouldn't.
possibility, but it is also a deterrent. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because then that person looks and they go, okay, I've got to take this person out. But now, if this person is open and carrying, who else has got one here and is going to take me out?
Well,
So it can be a deterrent. It's not necessarily that the guy's going to walk in, see you armed, and immediately take you out. That's a possibility, but not, you know what I mean. Not a guarantee. And it's not even a guarantee that the guy sees you with the sidearm on. He may not be focused on that particular thing. He may be, you know, these
no,
these
but my train of thought backwards, though, I'd say is just like that. You wouldn't be like he wouldn't be aware of you, but see, you're into an innocent situation. You're going to the grocery store. You're just getting gas. Going in to get some feed or whatever. So you're not even thinking of a person with bad intention. He's going with a bad intention. Now he could
right,
overlook you, but more than likely he's going to be the one that spots you and catalogs you because he's the one with the intent going in. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like it's a judgment call. That's one of those statements I don't think you can blanket and just go, oh,
right,
everyone should just open carry,
right,
because
right. Yeah,
you
that's
can't.
that's what I'm getting at. It's there's no way to blanket statement any of this.
Yeah,
Carrying, open carrying, concealed carrying. There's no way. During the summertime, I like to because I open carry. Okay. But it's a kind of a conceal open carry, if that makes sense. I wear a lot of these
yeah.
shirts unbuttoned, just wear them over it, and my pistols just where I can just throw that back
It's
and it's
there, but not there.
yeah, and so it kind of hides it, but because I've got the short sleeve, obviously, button up shirts as well, and a lot of times that's what I do. It depends on the area I'm going to. That's another very important key issue. Obviously, any area that you go to is open for a target. You know what I mean? Of a bad person, but in my town, it's a small town. Everybody knows everybody, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I open carry a lot here without the shirt. If I go to the big public, the big city, then I wear something to just kind of cover over it. Just because of the crime rates and the bad things that go on in these places.
What's up, D Dog?
You can't. What's up, D Dog? You can't do, like I said, you can't do a blanket statement on any of this stuff, man.
See, that's what I will say. That's what gets me though. Do you ever notice that with some of the channels? It's
Oh yeah.
like when they talk, it's like this is the way.
Yes.
And it's like, have you ever thought about where you're at? Because it's like even some of that with some of the other stuff is like, well, that's not what happening down here, so it's a little different. But I've noticed that
Well,
somewhat of the channels just like no, it's like whatever's happening right around them. Well, this has to be around the whole country, and so this is the only way to handle this. This is what you need to do. And I always hate it when people go, you need to do this. It's in like, unless you've been right here where I'm at and we've talked to where you understand my situation, you can't exactly, you can suggest things, but to know what I need to do.
well, the Tony, it's
You can watch me, so why not carry on?
I'll
Yeah,
fight for this nation anytime too, and I would fight to protect someone being attacked in the parking lot, in a heartbeat. But
well,
you
that's
know,
yeah, him and Watchman. I think he was kind of going, everybody ought to just open carry,
right?
and I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
the
No, yeah.
concept.
That's
Watchman was kind of like, yeah, I think it ought to be selective.
right. Well, that's the main thing is each person needs to do what is most comfortable for them. If you're not comfortable open carrying, don't open carry. If you're more comfortable, you know what I'm saying, conceal carrying, then conceal carry. You know what I mean? Don't just go and do everything exactly the way someone else tells you.
Just because you can doesn't always mean you should.
The most important thing about carrying a weapon, the most important thing about carrying a sidearm is knowing your target, knowing what's behind that target, knowing that you are proficient with your weapon. You know what I'm saying? That proficiency is absolute
But
a
now
must.
backwoods, I sit in my chair and I handle mine all the time. And I point at flies on the wall. I mean, isn't that good enough?
And you do, and unless you are going out and feeling the recoil of that weapon while you're pulling the trigger and feeling that recoil, that now they have eye targets, things like that. Eye targets are great. Eye targets are great. They do
Let's take
help with
backwards.
that initial hand-eye coordination, with that
Hey,
initial boom.
wait a minute. Hold on a minute. I think I got Darth Vader coming in. I don't know. It's
Oh shit.
Dr. Death or something.
It's time to go. It's fucking man. This just
Now vote.
I'm out, man.
Luke, I am not your father.
What up, Hutch?
What's up, y'all?
But what I'm saying, if you're going to carry, please be proficient with your weapon. Please train. If you just can only go, I know ammo is expensive. Go and shoot 2 or 3 rounds. Feeling that recoil on that weapon is key, because you don't know how you're going to react in that situation. You may pull your gun out and empty the damn thing. You just don't know.
Hey, dude, what is it? The video I know you've seen it where the cop shot one of his little buddies that was in the training class as they walked. They're in a line, and he's walking off. He jokes around and he throws and draws around, and he didn't realize he had that chambered. And he does that. Hell, he shot the chick, the damn deputy that they were doing the training with.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying, man.
Complacency kills.
But being proficient, man, is key. Knowing that when you pull, you just got seconds. You know what I'm saying? You just got seconds, but you got to make sure that you're not shooting that woman holding a baby that's 10 yards behind the bad
Right.
person. You know what I'm saying? You've got to have some type of training, man, if you're going to carry a weapon. Watch videos, go talk to people who are more proficient with them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there you go, D-Dog. See, I remember that's how I grew up. I grew up with that statement: is don't pull anything unless you're willing to use it.
I had
My
to
daddy,
do some preemptive planning yesterday. We thought or the day before, we thought we were going to have an incident to where we might have to pull out some of them things.
Oh,
And I literally went out there and looked around. Okay, if we have an incident here, I've got overshot behind me here that I can't aim at. I've got this here. You know what I mean? You got to trying to find the right position to take a tactical defensive standard without blowing out the neighbor's windows. You know what I mean?
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute here. Do I need to pack a couple of things and come stay a few days?
No, it's as far as I know right now, it's pretty much done and over with. It's that dude I was telling you about the other day.
Oh no, yeah,
Yeah, they never did anything. So
but I
they told him, but they never did anything. You know what I mean?
um I really need to make some money this week, but bro, brotherhood, man, comes first. I'm just telling you. If I need to drive up there, bro, I'll camp out a few days. It's
Oh,
cool.
shit. I'd have more trouble skinning out a fucking rooster than I would dealing with this little fucking punk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, but that's yes, go take a class, get quality training. Watch some videos on YouTube. There are some really good training videos on YouTube. There's, you know, um, be proficient with your firearm.
And
Um,
I tell you what, backwoods, I got a question for you because
okay.
I will say this is probably this might even ruffle a little feathers, but it's whatever.
I like it.
So I get the military structural training, the door breach, the cornering, all the stuff. But at some point, not every incident at a grocery store, gas station, or the park walking the dog is going to put you in those movements to where it's like you turn, you square your shoulders, you side in, and you go through that motion. It'll be like you're pumping gas and somebody comes running up and slapped your hood and you're like, wait, what? And it's like, yeah, you've got 0.5 second to where you're either going to draw this and go, oh shit, boom, or you're going to be going, oh shit, get up off of me.
That's why it's good to practice in stressful situations. That way you don't get distracted or fucking freeze in situations like that. You kind of have that muscle memory built in, and you can deal with stress. Because that's what a lot of people. I see a lot of people pull when I was living in the city. A lot of people would automatically throw their hand to their gun over the slightest little twitch. Obviously, I mean, it was city people, so it was a different mentality. But that's always the mentality: is you hear something, you automatically grab your gun, and then you know what I mean. A lot of the people I hung out with, they didn't even look for anything. They just kind of threw it out, started throwing it around and shit. Like, no, you need to chill, find out what's going on before you put your hand on that fucking thing. You know what I mean? Because 90% of the time, it's not necessary to even touch it. You know what I mean?
Well, being proficient, it's all about training, man. It's just all about training. It's I would suggest, if you can afford it, to get an instructor, to go to a class, to if you don't know a lot about firearms. I grew up with a firearm in my hand. I mean, I was hunting deer at 7, 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? I've been shooting guns since I was a little kid. I've been taught by my uncles and my, several of my family members have been in the military. My dad. I mean, I've been taught and trained and been to training classes and things my whole life on firearms. But even down to the point of knowing when to draw and knowing when not to. Like y'all are kind of getting into there a little bit of, my dad told me something. My dad gave me a 45 when I was about 19 years old. I was looking to buy one and he gave me one. I still have it in there today. It's a Colt 1911, 1991 A1 is what it is. So I've had it since then. He had it for years before that. When he handed that gun to me, he told me to hold my hand out because he had that gun in his hand like this, right? He put that gun in my hand and he kind of cupped my hand a little bit, and he said, if you pull it, use it when you pull it. Otherwise, leave it the hell alone.
That's it.
He
See,
said,
that's why I
looked
asked that.
at me and he said, do
Like,
you
I
understand?
remember my Army training. I remember that, but then I've kind of also been to the other side of the world, and it's kind of like, you don't, oh hell, there's Hillbilly. You don't sit, you know, because I've been talking with her because I've been trying to just kind of walk her through scenarios because she goes to work, she stops and get gas, you know, she'll run in the store. And nowadays you kind of start wondering when's, because I'm in a rural area, but then again, that also could make it an open target because if you hit the gas station right here, if you can hit that highway again, you can be gone before anybody, because we got county, we're spread out. So, and so that kind of got me thinking because trying to talk with her, well, she's kind of started to pick up that, oh, okay, so it would be, you know, like this. Well, then that's what kind of started clicking is like, I don't know that you, I get the training thing,
Right.
but at the same time, if you don't live that kind of life like she doesn't, you know, to where that would be like a thing, then for her, it's going to be that when she gets out the car at the gas station. And then, so what would you do? Because like watching some of these people walk past from this aisle of the gas station over, and then they'll come around and they come in between them pumps. Well, I've got her paying attention, but you got to, that shit's fixing to happen within seconds. And there ain't no square up and shoulder and, you know,
Right.
squint.
Well, see,
So it's that reactiveness and then what to kind of do with that at the same time.
I've
You
got
don't
it.
want to pull it if you can't actually use that. Otherwise, it's fixing to get used on you.
This is why I say get training from someone that knows what they're doing if you can. I've got a video on my channel to where I push the target away from me and draw and back up and I'm backing up shooting. Dude, I went round and round and round and round with this one guy on comments on that video saying that was the stupidest thing you ever seen. You should never back up when you're shooting. And because you could trip and fall, you could do this, you could do that. And I went round and round with this guy, and I was like, there is no way on God's green earth that you can ever predict what situation you're going to be in when you're shooting, when you have to draw your weapon. You may have to be retreating, backing up them few steps to get that person off of you. I've even got a video on my channel to where I teach about not drawing your weapon when somebody is right on top of you to carry a knife on you. I carry a knife with me everywhere I go. There is a reason to carry a knife, because if somebody is right on top of you and you try to draw that weapon, they can grab that weapon. Now you're wrestling for that gun. And it may shoot you, it may shoot him, it may shoot an innocent bystander.
Right.
It may shoot
But
you.
I can promise you, if that person is right on top of you and you draw that knife out, they're going to go, whoa, because they're that instinct of not grabbing that knife blade. And that's going to give you that moment to get them off of you, you know, whether it be to stick and back up, you know, to put that hand out and to get them, you know what I'm saying? It's to get that distance. That's the first thing you want is distance away from someone. That's why they tell you a 20-foot radius around you. Because a 6 foot tall man can close 20 feet, even if you're shooting them. You shooting them and their momentum, even if they're dying and falling forward, their momentum, they still could. And if they got a knife in their hand or something, they still can get to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why that's why training is so important. You know, situational awareness, so important. Always know what's going on around you. You see that guy walking around weird and shit. There's no car there and he's walking around the pumps. Clue in and go, hey, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Left-handed knife if you're a right-handed shooter.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because you want your good arm, because like some people like me, I'm sort of ambidextrous. You know what I mean? I can write with my left hand, I can shoot with my left hand, but I'm right-handed. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not that way, I know people that can't do shit with their left hand. They're right-handed, or vice versa. They're left-handed. They can't do shit with their right hand. It's a fumbling around mess. Use your dominant.
If you got to pull a knife anyway, then it doesn't matter which hand, because you shouldn't have your gun pulled if you've got a knife pulled, right?
Exactly.
So it's order of secession.
Right.
Well, I guess they would.
Then you do your knife, then you do your gun, depending on
Yeah,
the
but
distance.
you could use that to your tactic though, if that was your thing. Because if you pulled that knife and that caused that pause in them, that gives your right hand a moment. Then you reach down and grab your shit. You could actually be bringing that up, and it'd almost be like then instead of the flashlight pistol, you'd actually have the knife pistol. But if that would, you can pull that off, especially if you had like a sheath one. I could see that. But
Well,
then
I
again,
mean, I know it's technicalities, but if you've got the vest with the side things right here, you know what I mean. It's opposite hand, so obviously your your materials that you're using for a holster play a big part in the access that you're going to have to each hand. So, I mean, are you an ankle
hey,
holder?
I don't
Are
know.
you
Ask
in the
we,
back
we
of the
need Red
pants, in the
October.
front of the pants, and you know what I mean. Like
Where's
this, it all depends on how you hold your gun.
Red
Carry
to be
your gun.
like, I don't know. I could hit that damn thing with anything. Red to be slinging them things.
All I'm saying is you can't predict the situation. You can't really for sure know exactly what all's going to go on. You know what I mean? You just training. You can always if you get training, you can always rely on your training, and you can always understand. You know, you know the situation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, if there's somebody right on top of you, it's not best to draw your weapon, man. To draw your sight on, your gun.
Well, I guess unless you're physically capable of, you know, making you sure that that person's at a distance. But I would like with the misses, I would definitely not recommend it.
If you can touch him with your hand, if you can reach out and touch him with your arm, you know what I'm saying, with your hand, they're too close for you to draw a pistol.
What's up, Shorty?
Now there is I've practiced on this as well as drawing and turning the gun and keeping it on your side and pulling the trigger. Now you can do that if you're quick, if you're good, if you understand what you're doing. You can pull, you draw and turn. You don't come outwards. You draw and turn.
Yeah, you just pop it from the gut right
Yeah,
there.
just pow, and
that's
pop one off.
Room shit right there, buddy. That's
The best
survival mode.
My absolute everything that I've went through, the trainings and stuff that I've went through is always distance. Get the distance away. Get away from that person. Get the distance if possible.
Oh yeah, well I got my airspace. That's the way I always refer to my shit. It's always been my airspace, and I tell people, "Quick, go and look, dude. I'm gonna tell you now, you're getting into my airspace."
I keep it at COVID standards. I'm gonna need 6 feet, bro.
All right.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people would disagree with this, and it doesn't go for every situation. But if you're at the point where somebody is right up on you and they're in your space, you've essentially, in a way, already have failed levels of your training, because level 1 of training should be being vigilant, being aware of your surroundings at all times, and that in itself takes training. You have to train yourself to look around and know where the exits are, know what shady people look like, know who's in the store. It's 100 degrees and somebody's wearing full long sleeves and boots, right? Like, so and that's not every situation, right? Yeah, people can sneak up on you, but you have to train yourself to be vigilant of what's going on around you at all times. From when you're pulling into a store or you're walking into a store, shit, you're getting out of your door and going to your own fucking car in your own driveway. You should take a look around before you just walk out and beeline to the car. Somebody could be hiding somewhere, right? So if somebody's already gotten up into your shit, have you already failed in other levels of training? You know what I mean?
Well, see, not necessarily, because you kind of, you got to zoom out a little bit and kind of go, okay, could be grandma, could be, a dad that's maybe he's a desk jockey and he's a little overweight. He doesn't exercise much, but here the past few years he's become more aware. It could be this lady who's worked at the bank, for 20 years and never really got involved in anything, but here the past few years, that's that gap. Is these past few years have kind of brought a lot of people to the attention and seeing sometimes people with the best intentions can actually become part of the worst of the problem, and it's a lot of that's the firefighting experience. You find people that have the best intentions, but without any knowledge and without any grasp of what's happening, you're actually more of a hindrance and you become a liability. And that's so I kind of look at people because I sit at Walmart when I go in with Herd, and I kind of just look at people and I think, okay, what would you do if somebody just like a car flew up? I kind of run these little scenarios in my head because I'm sitting there and I'm going, so if a truck just throwed up right now, slammed on the brakes, somebody got out AR or something and did like a Uvalde or did like the other shit into play. And then you kind of wonder, and it's like, yeah, I wonder how many would do just like you were talking about, not taking into crossfire, and you just like, and you got shit, bing, 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 flying all over from everybody. And it's like, that's what's kind of gotten me thinking here lately.
See, I'm a fan of guns, but I'm not, I'm not a gun guy because I think you got to be able to defend your circle to begin with. Like Backwoods was saying, if somebody's close enough to touch you, your gun is not going to do any good. So I think on top of gun training, you need some kind of physical, you know what I mean? Some kind of tactic that you can not necessarily hand to hand, like, oh, I'm going to fight you full blown MMA style, but enough to get you away from that situation, or at least that 15-foot gap. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Well, you can get a defensive hand to hand, to where you're not necessarily become the aggressor, but you learn enough to get an aggressor off of. There's the Adam's apple. There's the nose right there, an upward strike on the nose.
I think everybody should learn how to properly choke somebody out without killing them, but
absolutely.
You know what I mean? I think everybody should do that.
I'm sorry if I get to the point I have to choke you out. If you die, it's just on you. I
gotta say, Hutch, you kind of threw some serious limitations on there. I'm supposed to be thinking during this process. No, I just need it to
no, because you never know
the issue is needs to stop.
A lot of people will overreact in a situation like that, overconfidence because their training never actually used it. A lot of people will get scared in their training because they're like, oh, this is the first time I actually have to use it. You know what I mean? There's going to be that disconnect until you get used to the action of it. You know what I mean? And we already seen there's two different justice systems. So if you choke somebody out and kill them literally, you're going to end up just like the other fucking dude in New York on the subway. You know what I mean? Because
that's why you don't live in New York, though.
Well, and I mean, unless you live in New York, in America.
Yeah.
If you come here and I do it in Texas, I got the right on my property. Not to mention, this is also the what do they call that? I don't know, right to fight shit. But you can actually even agree to throw down here.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's mutual combat states.
Mutual combat.
But we also have our trespassing shit. So you come on here and cross that thing, and I go, you better get off. And all of a sudden, we end up in it, and you get your little neck snapped or choked out right there. Somebody just needs to come get the body.
A lot of the situations I was in the city, like there was a gun could have been used and the other side had guns, but most of those altercations come down to hand to hand. You know what I mean? Because I mean, real shit, in my experience, a lot of criminals or bad guys, they pull it, but they don't really like to shoot it because they know there's consequences. They just go on the fact that you'll be scared. Obviously, there's exceptions where a motherfucker will just shoot you in the face and not think twice about it. But in my experience, the overwhelming majority is people like to talk tough when they have it on their side, but they're not actually going to pull that trigger. There are exceptions.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? A lot of times it's going to come down to if they can intimidate you with loud noises, screaming, physical violence, then they've already got you. There's no need to pull a gun. So if you can defend against that without having to kill somebody, I mean, in my opinion, that's always a good thing.
Well, like I said, throat punches, upward strike on the nose. A lot of guys, with the down below, you know what I mean? Good swift kick there, things like that. The main thing I would say is if you can avoid hand to hand, avoid it. You know what I mean?
It's last resort.
If you can do a strike and get away, then get away. Unless you're out. The only time I would suggest this is if you are out in a situation where it's just you and that person for some whatever reason it may be, I would finish the person. If you're in public, strike, get away, and go run into a store, start calling 911 immediately, get the hell away from that person.
What's up, your dog?
When you're in public, a good scream, get away from me,
And draw attention to the area.
draws attention,
I'll tell you, like I raised my kids with this, and that was basically if you try to keep from being in the shit, so you tell some, just try to tell somebody, back off. If it doesn't, and the shit hits the fan, principle number one, be able to go home when it's over. Whatever that takes is what you need to do. There's no rule book, and anybody that tries to tell you all that shit is full of shit.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I have literally lived the organized, kind of controlled fighting, and you do the little polite way. And then I've lived in the world where there are no rules. And so I'm going to tell you now, there are no rules.
Yep.
When
There's
shit
no
hits
rule.
the fan, you want to be the one that gets to go home.
Yep. That's the main goal, is you're the one going home.
If
You
it's a number
didn't,
two
you
pencil,
didn't, you
if it's
didn't,
a knife, if it's a Glock, it don't make a shit. If it's the corner of a bumper, if it's the lens out of a blinker housing, it don't make a shit.
but I'm just saying, if someone breaks in your house, these type of things, you're in your yard, and a lot of people, they live out, where,
Watchman,
you
I
know what
gotta
I'm
let
saying?
you know, this right here is a handle, but I can tell you my grandson can hang on this, so this doesn't bother me. So this isn't like a control thing.
And like if you
You
get
made a
close
comment
enough
going, I
to
hate to
grab
say
my
it, but a beard is
I'm
nothing but
fucking
a handle in a fight. I've seen a guy get his beard ripped out. Would have been better not to have one. Well, I personally enjoy mine, and they're not going to enjoy coming this close in to get it.
right. Yeah, if you get close enough to touch my beard, I am fucking you up.
Yeah. You might grab this, but you're immediately going to go from my beard to holding your innards back inside.
That's why I say always carry a knife.
Times before, and I have no problem doing it again. You get me down and get me. I'm gonna grab a handful of nuts and I'm gonna squeeze and twist. I don't give two damns. I can wash my hands. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
what that is for. You get close enough to grab my beard, and you're going to feel this, and not in the way you want to.
You could be like Hillbilly. I mean, because of the way he dresses, he's constantly a victim. So you carry a rape sleeve with you.
Well, but then he's got his skinny jeans. He ends up attracting those.
That's what I'm saying. He's
gets
just
to
a walking
pimp out the
victim.
club.
Because of what he wears. They're like, oh, we can take that. Yeah, listen to shit we're saying.
Well, I have my bullshit filter in this morning. I couldn't.
No, you don't, because we saw your cheeks even start to rise because you grinned.
Right.
You were just trying. I thought you were hiding it.
You're
Yeah,
like,
You're young. You're a youngin', man.
But see, it's
Been there,
all
done
part
that.
of, it's all a part of the plan, because they see this certain image and they think they can come and take what they want, and then they fuck around and find out and realize that they shouldn't have fucked around, because they're gonna
Yeah.
find out.
Also, ears come off very easy. You can get a handful of ear, you can rip an ear off. And
Oh,
you
sure.
but understand this though. Understand this. There are people walking around out there. You rip their ear off, and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna freak them out, and it's liable to piss them
What
the
are you,
fuck
Mike
off.
Tyson, bro? You're biting off.
So when you,
Learn
I'm
how to
just
fight.
there's 36 people watching right now, and some of them are women. Some of them, you know what I'm saying.
I'm just busting your balls. Relax, bro.
would you say mace, taser, all that good shit is definitely a must to have in your purse or your pocket?
Let me ask you something about the mace thing, because I've thought about this. I mean, you see it, and you see all the cool little at the protesties where everybody gets to throw their little hand out and going and all that good shit. But in all honesty, if you're into some shit and somebody's all up in your grill, you gonna spray that shit because you fixing to have it all over you. And I don't know if anybody's gone through that shit, but unless you're prepared, I suggest you go spray yourself a few times in your garage so you can build up a tolerance, because it ain't gonna be what you think.
Oh, it sucks so bad. It sucks so bad. It takes about 20-30 seconds when you got adrenaline kicking. It takes a minute for it to kick in. You know what I mean? Like, you can still fucking, if you're moving, like Backwood said, if you get shot at 20 feet, you can still make that 20 feet. if you get maced, you could still fuck some shit up.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
you'll do it in the blur and in between the snot
Yeah,
and shit,
'cause
but you can
all
still
it takes-
grab. It
all
ain't
I gotta
affected
do is
none of
grab on.
this.
It's
Well,
not fun.
I did see on the mace thing. I did see a video where this dude was this crazy dude. He was trying to attack some people, and they maced the shit out of him, man. And he started doing this, man. He was, and he tried to come, and they'd mace him again, man. He just, and he finally he started staggering off, and he was screaming all kinds of shit, and
Oh, was that the drone thing at the water that threw that dude's deal in there? Did you see that?
Yeah, that might have been. But it's like they
Any
said,
advantage we can have is a good advantage to have.
like Rescue said, man, it ain't no fair fight. It's that gentleman shit where you stand in the field and shoot at each other, one at a time. That shit's been over with for a long time. This is guerrilla warfare out in this motherfucker now. Learn guerrilla tactics, fuck, man, poke an eyeball out, fucking rip a lip off. It don't matter. Your whole goal is to leave that situation as least harmed and to go home. That's your goal. When
Kim,
someone,
I almost bought some of those. It's almost like the cat ears looking.
yeah,
kind
the
of thing.
cat ear, yep.
Well,
Yeah,
and
the
that was
cat ear
my
You
keychain.
take your key ring for most of the ladies and stuff. You'll see, but most of the ladies, I guarantee you're the key rings. Instead of grabbing that key ring, you need to start slipping it around one of your middle finger or your ring finger when you're carrying them. That way, shit comes, you flip them around and get you a few keys poking through some fingers. And if you got to just start raking shit, you start raking shit around the face, and buddy, I'm gonna want to go somewhere besides on you.
Yeah, ears, nose, throat, perfect targets. Eye gouge. I don't give a fuck. You stick your fucking thumb in somebody's eyeball and pull that bitch out if you have to. Shit, it's your fucking life.
That's what I'm saying. And yes, I think it was Amy Huckleberry said God was watching us. I know that.
What's up, B? Hey, you know what? And he's telling you that you need to get righteous, and you need to know how to handle yourself. You don't need to provoke anything, but you need to be able to protect your family and yourself.
He did say, "Sell your cloak and buy a sword."
That's it. So, and the heathens are
Yes, sir.
bashing at the door, so it might be the time. No offense to good old Rabid or KP Heathen, but
Yeah, I'm showing
okay.
Elusive.
I'll be damned. Look, I said that, and I'll be damned. There's KP shows, right?
Elusive, Elusive got one for his old lady. Little kitty cat.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yep, that's the shit right there. Yeah, when it boils down to it, man, your whole idea is to go home. That's just all there is to it, is to go home as less harmed as possible. You can't guarantee nothing. I mean, look at, just go back and to POTB's channel, Prepping Outside the Box. Just go back to the War Game Wednesdays and look at all the different scenarios that we come up with, just the little different things that could happen, in a blink of an eye. You know what I'm saying? It's
Hell, dude, just look at Israel just now. They were having a rave party.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen Uvalde when kids are going to school. I mean, there's all kinds of things. As a matter of fact, Uvalde is probably a good example, because you know what? The mindset was one way before that. I can honestly tell you from my perspective, the mindset totally changed. See, I would have probably paused going, okay, authority's going to tend to this. Now, after seeing Uvalde go down, I don't give a shit who's saying what. I'm going to go tend to mine. So you got to adapt and overcome.
Exactly, Dennis. Yeah, I recommend everybody go out and mace themselves today. Just so you know.
That's it, Dennis. You got to experience that shit, because it ain't gonna.
Well, you can't. You said it earlier, Rescue. I believe it was you that said, you can't. Anybody that tells you this is the only way, or this is what's going to happen, this is guaranteed. You don't listen to them people. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Do you think the training has a miss when it comes to innovation or creativity or imagination? Like if you get stuck in this, I'm I'm a military TAC unit training. Boom, this is what I'm doing. I'm not going to divert. Does that cover all possibilities, or is there has to be some imagination when it comes to how you
But
train, right?
yeah,
That way you can prepare for every situation, so you don't get locked into that muscle memory of this is the action I'm taking, but this is the way that they're fighting me.
Well,
And
what
coexist.
I'll tell you something we did. We were practicing. We had our airsoft guns, and when anytime we were doing several men uh, practice, with a bunch of us right there, and we used our airsoft rifles. That just because, and so what we did is we started. We were doing a square. We were walk, and you would shoot. And you would walk forward. You would shoot. You would walk sideways to keep on the target and shoot. And a lot of times you would shoot when the instructor would say, fire, 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 and you may be in between walking, and you'd have to. And so what we started doing was, as you were walking, a guy runs in front of you all of a sudden, and you're like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Because it was and we started doing that to make it to where, because man, when you're practicing that drill, that square drill, you know what I'm saying, you're focused on that target, man. You're like, as you're walking sideways, you're learning how to walk, and you're walking forward, you're walking backwards, you know what I'm saying, and then all of a sudden, man, somebody runs in front of you, you know what I mean, and that was to make it out like, innocent people, because they freak out when there's gunfire, you know what I mean, and they're running all different directions, and so there's, yes, you want to try to do things in your training, because it's nothing is muscle memory, but it is. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? It's like there's certain aspects that you want to remember of training, but you have to be ready for all situations. There
see, that's why
anything
I asked that earlier
somebody
because
just run in front of you.
I don't have like the military deployment, but I've wondered that before, listening to a lot of the scenarios, and I get a lot of the guys, that were deployed and went through, the Fallujah, they went through the Iraq stuff, and so there was that. But then for me, it's like firefighting, I guess you could say, because there's most of my training is in that. So it would be like you can go learn to be this team, this fire team,
Mm.
or you need to learn how to grab a damn water hose, and then what's important in putting a fire, what would be things to actually look at it. Yeah, you don't have all the equipment, but there's still things you can do. There's people you can pull, there's still ways. And so that's why I've wondered, because a lot of this is all this tactical stuff, and it's like, but what do you do when it's the Bloods rolling up on your shit, and they're not doing tactical stuff, they're not the Iran army, so they're scattered, and they're popping anybody, they're just throwing different shit. So you don't, that's why I would just think being jacked at the gas station, you walk out with a soda, and all of a sudden there's three people come up and just, they tackle you, and you're having to try to scrap, and you get a moment. What do you do? I think we've entered a stage where it's
Well,
like you've got so much, it's almost like that urban lifestyle versus the tactical side versus prison life is all being thrown into the mix at once.
Before I go squirrel watchman, I live in America, so my brass knuckles are not illegal at all. They fit under the same category as conceal and carry. So check your local laws, because for 2-3 years now, Missouri has allowed brass knuckles, like full blown legally on paper and everything. So situation, you know what I mean, or your area dictates what you can use. So find out what you can use.
And I'm sorry, but I still say I'd rather sit in jail as I would to be carried by by
Uh-huh.
six. You know what I'm saying? I
Well,
mean,
Washington State's fucking retarded though. So I mean,
well, yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
holy crap! Washington's talking about Washington State. Hell, that's communism right
Washington
there.
State is the mutual combat state, so you can have a fist fight, and the police can't do shit about it. Just because you
Yeah,
can't
but
have
that's
the
a
tools
batshit
doesn't mean you
crazy
can't.
state to begin with.
Well, even on a level of taking like crime and violence out of it, right? I mean, backwards, you can relate, right? Like you could sit there at a range all day with your rifle and shoot 100, 200 yards at a target, right? Preparing for deer season,
Mm-hmm.
right? And hit bullseye every time, right? You're calm, you're
Mm-hmm.
collected, then you get out in the woods and then you get a buck or you get a deer, period, that comes out in front of you and you get that touch of adrenaline that starts pumping through. You know what I mean? That changes everything, just in the non-violent aspect. Deer hunting, the most, calming thing that I think you could do, sitting out in the woods. And you're dead on all the time. As soon as you see that deer in range, that adrenaline kicks up. You pull that rifle up, man. I don't care how long you've been hunting. It will affect your shot. It will affect your aim. You're gonna move. You're gonna be affected. So
Yeah,
training.
people never look into that or never think about the adrenaline, because like a lot of people who have never been in a fight in their fucking life, they're quick to say, oh, I'm going to be that killer that stops the werewolf prepper. And, okay, well, when you're damn near having a heart attack because of adrenaline, because of a situation you've never been in before, talk to me afterwards and tell me how that worked according to your plans.
Yeah.
See, now I said that like a year and a half ago, and I think I was almost like chastised because that's kind of was my thing on a lot of the I'm ready for this. And it's like, I don't know, man, how many people have actually seen some innards just laid out on the floor? How many people have actually, watched, a 4-foot spurt of blood splattering everywhere? How many people have, because you can see movies and then you can have it right in front of you and you can get that warm, sticky shit all over you and you can smell that. And all of a sudden it's a different world. It's just it's like watching movies about mutual combat. It's one thing, and you can go out and remember high school days of throwing down, but I can tell you what's coming when it comes to hand shit. It's going to be some wicked looking shit. Like there'll be
anybody in their mama can hold
ways that you never thought flesh would look that way.
Like anybody and their mama can hold a knife, but it takes a special kind of something to actually stick that knife into somebody, to feel that slide into somebody's flesh. You know what
It's
I mean?
a different feeling. I'll just tell you.
You see the soul leave a body. You'll know. You see people. That's a different take, and you just. I don't know. I think with what's to come, I think things can be dark. I've watched people on wrecks. The wreck happened, and they processed one thing until they get a visual, and all of a sudden the visual makes people go into shock. Why do you think they actually cover up people? Or well, nowadays I don't think they really worry about it because they're desensitizing everybody. But back in the day, murder scenes, they always covered that up. It wasn't a conspiracy to protect it. It was because of the shock factor. Some people would stroke the hell out. I mean, they can't comprehend that. Their brain disconnects. So
I know a few people, even a drop of blood, like they will throw up and damn near pass out and shit. But yet you expect me to believe that you're some kind of killer and like, oh, you're this big bad street fighter, but a tiny drop of blood makes you throw up and pass out. You know what I mean? You need to know yourself truly before you get into one of those life or death situations. You know what I mean? Because I mean, it sounds good on paper, but when you actually have to do it, it's a whole different thing.
Well, and I hate to be the Debbie Downer dude, but I actually think I even said this one time during one of POTBs. But it's like, just throw a scenario. You're defending yourself, but you have your grandkid, or if you're young enough and it's your son or daughter in the back seat of your car, you're defending yourself. Things are going crazy. But you watch somebody grab your kid at that moment out of the back of that car by the hair out there. And I know this sounds drastic, but this is a reality. Drag your kid out by the hair and is now holding him and has a knife. And, they stab your kid. What is your brain going to do at that point? It's easy to talk and go, oh, that's it. I'm going to drop that bad boy. It's like, do you realize your brain is going to watch your child pass? And I don't think, not being a Debbie Downer, sorry to throw that in. We'll change that here indirectly, but figure just
that's
throw
the
the
thing
reality.
that I think about all the time. Yeah, because if I had one thing that was going to piss me off and just send me full feral to where I don't give a fuck, like I will die in the process. If you do something like that to my son or to any of my fucking kids, I'm snapping. You know what I mean? Like I'm charging, I'm running, like they're full blown feral. You know what I mean? Like I will probably die in the process. I know that's the thing right there that's gonna fuck me up. If I see that, no, you know what I mean? And I'm aware of that because it's real shit. Because I know what my lines are. You know what I mean? So I will try to keep my son out of that situation. That way I don't have to expose myself to that and cause myself to be a fucking liability. You know what I mean? All those little things. Because I mean, my son's a soldier, so I could be like, yeah, strap up, get up here and get on the line with me. Let's do this. You know what I mean? But as a parent, I'm like, no, I know you're well trained and you're better trained than me, and you probably know what you're doing better than me. But that parent instinct's gonna kick, and you're like, no, you stay behind me. I mean, you can fight, but I'm gonna die, so you don't have to. You know what I mean? Like
That's
that.
fine.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
fine. Hell, he's 6'6" and he's fine, walks around, and I'm still. It's like, no, I might be in the chair, and I'm a few inches shorter than you, but you're my son. There just does something doesn't take that away. It doesn't go away. It's my job to protect you.
Yeah, you can never predict a situation. You can never know exactly what's going to happen, man. It's just you train and you train the best that you can, and you do the most training you can, and you try to go over scenarios in your mind, but you can never predict everything that's going to happen, man. It's just the way it is.
Watchman, I hear what you're saying, but Jesus ain't stopping an ass whooping. Jesus ain't stopping a bullet from going in your face. You know what I mean?
And it goes with the old saying, like, I don't know who originally said it, Mike Tyson maybe, right? But everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face, right? That's an umbrella statement, but I can literally tell you from a man who has taped up and gloved up, and stood in a cage in a ring with somebody who wanted to beat the fuck out of me. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. You go through training and you watch the guy's tapes and you figure out how he fights. But once you step in the cage with that man and he elbows you in the face or he punches you in the fucking mouth, yeah, you got a plan, but your plan just altered because now you just felt the wrath of reality.
Right.
So
It's like watching somebody go from county to state. Everybody was a badass in county until you got to state, and all of a sudden you ain't a badass no more. You get introduced to the badasses. That dude out there on that yard, he's been pumping that shit for the last 15 years. He's been knocking skulls, thumping heads on a day-to-day basis. Lives in a whole different mindset in a different world than a person that fights every now and then or something. So yeah,
I will say though, from experience, I can say just because somebody's ripped and works out all day and has all kinds of muscles, you're like, oh, this guy's a bodybuilder, he'll kill me. Glamour muscles don't mean shit. You know what I mean? Gym muscles mean that you're strong and you're, you know what I'm saying, some big fucking killer. That just means you look pretty. You know what I mean? Pretty motherfuckers.
That's the ones that can't hardly move. They ain't got no flexibility.
Yeah. Right. So don't get intimidated by somebody with some giant gym muscles, because chances are they can't throw them fucking things. It's too heavy.
Shoot, no, cut one of them good little tendons on there, it'll drop their ass.
Yeah. I've worked out with guys like that. I've trained with guys like that, or fucking muscle heads and shit. And then you get them out into the parking lot when you're doing, like, you know, sledgehammer training or tire training, where you're flipping tires, dragging tires, hitting tires with sledgehammers. Them fucking muscle heads can't handle that shit for more than 5 minutes.
Well, that's to me not real. To me, it's
you know, it's all show and glamour. That ain't real muscles, man.
That's real work develops real muscles.
And
you
for a guy like me,
pull and bend and lift, and naturally, that's what'll build your natural core to your body. All this little organized, let me get at this certain degree, and you're going for fancy foo-ha-ha. Jiu-jitsu, that's what prep. I think everybody ought to do some basic class of jiu-jitsu. Just learn some basic grabbies.
Some little defense and things.
See,
I'm a fan of grappling. I think everybody should know how to grapple to some extent or wrestle, because that's what most fights turn into, is a fucking hugging match.
Yeah.
Hardly anybody will stand there and just throw like full-blown boxing. You've never seen in the streets people just stand there and throw blood. Like, I'll take one, you take one. I'll take one. Everything turns into a hugging match and a slap battle. Hardly anybody actually throws the fucking hand. You know what I mean? I got you, and then, you know what I mean? So knowing how to throw your hands is good, but knowing how to grapple, submit somebody, or get out of a submission is way better than throwing your fucking hands. Defensive is better than offensive when it comes to hands.
Yep. And the good thing with jiu-jitsu, right, is 95% of jiu-jitsu is you're return. Oh my God, what's the word I'm looking for? Resist, like when they resist, like you're just holding somebody, right? So if I get you in an arm bar, I can just hold that arm bar. Once you start resisting, is when you start to get into the pain. And then once you get a little flex on that muscle, that's when the pain comes in. So I can hold you in that arm bar for an hour. As long as I don't move, as long as you don't resist, there will be no pain. But it doesn't take much to get that pain to start moving. You know what I mean? To inflict that pain with just a little flick of the wrist or whatever. It's great. I love jiu-jitsu.
It doesn't really take much
Excited
to break
talking
a
about it.
bone. I mean, like if you can get in a position to where you can grab somebody's arm, break the elbow, break the shoulder, break the fingers, you know, like it really does
Yep.
not take much at all. Just bend
No,
them
it
bitches
doesn't.
backwards until you hear the pop. Fight's over.
But you got to know what you're doing to be able to do it. In
Right.
you know, otherwise you'd be like fucking. It'd be like gnawing away at a bone with a dull knife. You know what I mean? Like you'd be twisting and trying. Oh, where's that spot? But when you're trained to know that, you just it's second instinct, man. Like I was gonna say before, like with training and fighting, I have that training. I have fought. So when you're out in public or you think that an encounter might happen, that just becomes second nature. You're like, well, you know, I can grab that guy's arm if he sticks it out too far. I get behind him. I can throw him in a rear naked choke. Like it's just second. It's always an option in that scenario. So like when you're trained with that stuff, your second instinct is you know where to grab that arm and lock it up, and it's locked in. Like you're not getting out of it, or you're gonna get out of it, but your arm's gonna be fucking twisted around, backwards, sideways, reverse. You know what I mean? Like I love that. I'm getting all fucking excited because jiu-jitsu for me, man. Like I did it for so many years, and we just my barber just opened a gym in town. And he wants me to get back up there, start training again, start fucking, you know, training some of the younger generation kids again. And like that shit gets me fucking excited because man, it's good shit. I agree. People should know how to do a small amount of fucking, you know, self protection, hand to hand. Fucking, it's super simple to learn. It really is.
What's up, Carl? Rabbit, what's up? Oh, I think it's needed, and see, and that's the mindset. I think because okay, shit goes south over here. There's with it when we talk about the illegals coming across, but these are coming from cultures that are completely different than ours. So this is a different mindset. They're coming from different areas, different regions, different mindsets. So it's gonna, yeah, I think it's gonna be a little grosser than what people are probably been used to here. Because yeah, you get the gang shootings and people get used to the, you know, that kind of stuff. But I don't know, man. Some of that third world shit, some pretty grotesque movie shit that people just only connect to in movies. But
Take it easy, Watson. Be safe, bro.
Well, that's the thing too. Like
later, Watson. Appreciate you, brother.
See you, Watson.
Movies. Most people have like violence. They have this image of violence as like what they see on the movies and what they see on TV. Like I've only seen it once in my life. Like somebody's brains literally blown out of their head, bleeding out, dying, and it fucking traumatized the shit out of me for years. You know what I mean? So like everybody's vision of this shit is what they see on TV. The majority of people, when they see this stuff in real life, man, it's gonna, you know what I mean?
It's a shock and awe.
Yeah,
you get an actual fight where you're ripping skin and doing, like, you will be surprised where you find blood droplets a couple days afterwards. You know, like it can get real messy real quick. Yep. What up, little milk?
What's up, milk?
I've got titanium plates that hold my eye socket and cheekbone together.
Kiss off, he ain't ready for all that.
You know?
He ain't at that level yet.
Yeah, she was wondering why poor old hillbilly there. He coughs so hard every time he takes a puff. So
every fucking time. It don't matter if it's flour or vape. I cough every time.
He'll get there. He's still young. He'll grow up eventually.
I'm still young. I've only been smoking pot for 26 years. I'll get used to it.
You figure you would have had it dialed in by now after 20-something.
So you've been smoking for 21 years?
26 minutes? Is that what he said?
I think that's what, or months maybe. I'll give him credit. I think he meant months.
I started smoking pot when I was 15 years old. The summer after my freshman year.
Okay, just so we're clear, you realize that you're coughing nowadays and you're trying to brag that you have endurance, but you're actually countering the point saying, see, I've smoked this long and I'm still weak as shit because I cough.
I'm not countering shit because I'll smoke all day and all night. I will cough the whole time doing it, but I will still smoke the whole time.
So like last week.
Well, I told y'all, like, since I quit smoking cigarettes, I cough more when I smoke pot than I did. So maybe I should start smoking cigarettes again. Fuck it.
I don't know.
I thought about buying a pack for the road trip to Missouri. I'm not gonna lie.
I just say, everybody, have your head on a swivel. We've been saying it for a while, but I think now is a more important time than ever to keep your head on a swivel when you go out, especially if you live in some of these states where these Democrat strongholds, as they call them, and stuff, where are some of these places where some of these type people are. I would definitely keep an eye out. I would definitely keep my head on a swivel and pay attention to what's going on.
Get out of the cities, people. Get out of the fucking cities.
Yeah,
you want to protect yourself for real? Yeah. Better than a gun, better than a knife, better than a fucking F-35. Get out of the fucking city.
Yeah. You have to be vigilant. Like, I know it goes with having your head on a swivel, but like, man, you got to fucking watch what's going on. These scumbags. I mean, we've had a couple in this state. Well, one that I know happened like 2 months ago, where it was these 3 teenagers and they were waiting outside of this rich guy's house down in like Greenwich, and they waited for him to get home, and he opened the door and they carjacked his ass and they beat the shit out of him because he tried to resist. He got the better of 2 of them, or was getting the better of 2 of them. And then the third one came around and sucker punched him, and then they beat the shit out of him and stole his fancy car. Like,
hey, all the skills in the world don't mean shit when they got the numbers on you. The numbers in the drop, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I know we talk all like tough and macho, and like for some of us, like, yeah, fuck that, I'm fighting your ass, man. Like, I'll fuck you up, or die trying. I know that sounds stupid, but for the people that can't fight for themselves, like, give that shit up, man. It ain't worth your fucking life for your car or your purse or whatever stupid shit that they're trying to take. Fucking, if you
there's
yourself, give that shit up.
There's times that I was going to mention this earlier when Rescue was talking about the gas station deal. There's times when it's best to, if that person's got to jump on you, they got a gun on you, they got a knife sitting there, and they're right on top of you, they're like, hey, just give me your fucking wallet, and I'll, you know what I'm saying? There's times that it may be best just to give your fucking wallet and let them run, because you can replace them credit cards. You can call immediately and have all your cards canceled.
Well, that's why you should evaluate your situation. If you know that might be, okay, this is the option. Yeah, I can't do this. I'm not going to be able to do that. So that'll be my best. Then remove most of the important shit out of there. Don't carry it in that wallet. You don't have to have all that shit in that wallet or that purse.
Yep.
Walk into a store. All you need in that store is either your grocery list and a debit card.
Right. The There's no reason to have your social security card, your birth certificate.
I would even say, ladies, I know some of you guys got fucking suitcases for goddamn purses. Stop it. Get a wallet. Get something smaller that somebody, they got a big bag. I wonder what they got in it. They run up and grab it.
That's what the missus does. We've gotten to where she changed the past few years, and now everything just stays hidden under the seat. And when everything just comes out, it's the debit card. If she's going in to get groceries, it's just the debit card and her phone. Everything stays in the car.
Yeah, my old lady's got 2 or 3 of them big purses, man, and I talked her out of stop carrying them damn things,
Because dude, and that targets them too. Because they see that and they just assume you have something in it. You might not have a fucking dollar, pardon my French, but
I'd
they'll
say
think,
a
oh
backpack
shit,
would be worse,
they
man.
got money. I'm just grabbing it. Well, you're going to resist because that's nature. It's on your arm or in your hand, and you're going to pull. Well, dude, that can go south. Hell, you could have a knife and stab you or whatever. It just get
No,
rid of these.
I would say a backpack would make it worse because that just gives you more storage area to make a person curious of what you got. What's so important that you wanna carry it in a backpack on your back? I'm intrigued now. You know,
Laptop. That's probably
Yeah, you're just because
probably
you're
got a
talking herd
laptop in
people.
there. Probably got your money and all your stuff in there. Yeah,
I will say too, where Backwoods says it all the time. If you got your mind right, things will fall into place. I don't know how many people in here have been in an actual fight and got their asses whooped, but in real life, a lot of people, if they lose a fight, that fucks them. Like you can see the change in them. Their pride is hurt. Their ego is hurt. They
Yeah,
either
they're
turn into a
defeated.
full blown fucking asshole because they don't know how to take that ass whooping, or they end up taking it out on their own people. Let me just say, it takes a lot of physical altercation for you to get past that. Oh, I got my ass whooped. I'm a loser. I'm a piece of shit. No, anybody at any given time can get their ass whooped by anybody at any given time. There's no
I'm
shame.
gonna tell.
Just
I'm a,
clarify that now. If you lose a fight, that doesn't make you less of a person. That just means you need to train harder. Because a lot of those people, they'll get in it and they'll start to lose. I've seen it a couple times. You start to lose, and your mind switches. You're like, oh fuck, now I'm getting my ass kicked, and it switches your whole mentality. You get out of that fight stance, and you're into, oh no, I'm getting hurt. Oh no, I'm getting my ass whooped, and it's really a mental thing that you have to deal with. Anybody can
if you
get their ass
survive the fight, you need to be happy and you need to be grateful and you need to learn from it and move forward because nowadays it's just getting your ass beat and not having your head totally stomped into where you're not breathing anymore is more likely. So you want to try to avoid those mass fights. I know the last little altercation I had, which was a matter of what are we at? We're at 2023. I think it was probably 7 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago when I closed the store down. Right before I closed the store down, had an altercation. And if the missus would hear, she could correct me because it was either 7 of them or 9 of them. And I always get the numbers backwards. But I had, I used to do a vapor store, retail store for the vapor stuff and accessories. And we had one here in this town and one over in Huntsville. And me and her had gone to the store in Huntsville. And when we came back, we went in this one and my daughter was running this one. And then she had told me about an altercation with a customer that was sitting there and on the phone with her boyfriend in another town. Well, next thing I know, they she's going, yeah, and he's supposedly gonna bring his friends. And I said, okay, well, we'll just let it go. And now we're kind of walking through the store. And next thing I know, my daughter goes, oh, well, there's his truck right there. And I turn and look, sure enough, there's a truck pulling. I said, okay, well, just y'all just chill in here. I'm gonna go we're not bringing this in. I got all this glass and shit. Dude, I walked out and I had no idea. But when I walked out that store and went down that sidewalk out in that parking lot, what I thought was addressing was one guy, ended up being, like I said, it was either 7 or 9. I know it was 3 different vehicles, doors all open. I get a half circle all the way around me, like instantaneous. Been there, done that in my previous life. So
Yeah,
it
ain't
wasn't a
no
shock,
shame in
but I
taking
can
an
tell you
ass whooping.
for the next X amount of time, dude, it's I could sit here and I could glorify that and I could probably paint that into some cool little YouTube story that, oh yeah, man, I fucked them up, but we rocked down. I was what I'm gonna tell you is when that dude hit me and I knew he was gonna hit me, but that one dude stepped towards my wife, and when he did, I went, hey, that's my wife. And then that dude tagged me and I grabbed him because I knew at that moment, if you have never been there, you don't understand what's fixing to happen, but you're fixing to become a soccer ball. And I grabbed that one and I basically stayed with him and grabbed a hold, and I had him sit on me and ride me, punch. It was kicked. My son come running out the store, but he didn't understand. See, this is why I'm just saying this in an educational, practical purpose, but he didn't know how to handle that. He had never seen that. He had been in high school fights, but he had never seen one person get dogpiled by 7 or 9 people at once and shit. And not to mention his dad. See, his brain was processing, that's my dad. And he's running off with him, and he didn't realize that probably the best thing would have been to come by me and you deal with the one and then stay right there with me, kind of thing. Instead, he kept chasing him, and they knew it, and they were dragging him off, and I was taking all kinds of shit, dude. Had a dude from Domino's run out of Domino's and dive a dude. There was a moment in this, all dude was riding me like a horse while I had a hold of that guy underneath me, going all at him, and we're tussling. This dude straddled me and commenced to ringing my chimes, dude. And I clenched my teeth and closed my eyes so I wouldn't lose my eyeballs or lose your teeth. Then if you ain't been in that ride before, you won't ever know about that. But
and I will say, even if you do win, it still hurts. Fighting hurts. Whether you win or lose, it's gonna fucking hurt. Like if you've never punched somebody in the face, I'm telling you, your knuckles are gonna hurt.
You're fixing to have a burst of muscle tension and everything, and stress, anxiety, pain. You're fixing to get whooped. You might be slammed on something. You're fixing to go through a dryer cycle.
Matt Shad.
What's up, Shad?
Greetings from the area.
And even
but I can
from
just tell you, it's just like my daughter watched that go down. My son watched that go down. My wife watched it go down. Ain't none of them were prepared for none of that. Had people from the Domino's just freaked all out. That's why I just, and I'm not saying everybody ought to freak out. I ain't trying to tell nobody that. Exactly. I definitely am not trying to do no fear monger shit. But I can tell you that what's coming across that border and what's being heightened up and catching more heat and these protests and shit going down in these streets, that there's radical shit can spark off. And if you're around them concentrated areas, I feel for you. Too bad you can't get out, but I would if I could.
See, I like to fight, but I don't like starting fights. You know what I mean? Like if it's brought to me, like okay, we'll fight all day long, but yeah.
Man,
I used to do that, love to fight shit in school until I went to prison, and then all of a sudden fight took a whole new different meaning. All of a sudden it was a survival word. It's like, fuck this fucking fighting for fun shit. Do I look like a paid boxer? Fuck that shit. I'm fighting to go home, buddy.
I used to run around with this one guy, man, for a pretty good while, and that son of a bitch, man, he absolutely loved to fight. I mean, just we'd be at a party, man, and I'd hear him, "What you looking at? You want some of me, motherfucker?" And I'd be like, "God dang, here we go," you know. And it fucking, the fight would be on, man. We've been in so many fucking fights, man, and party fights and shit. And we pulled up to this gas station one time, and we was going over into Little Rock to see these girls, me and him, and these dudes pulled up, and one of these dudes was like the ex-boyfriend or whatever of one of these girls, and they recognized us and started talking shit, and there's like three of them, man. My buddy, he's like, bro, he goes, just stand back. He said, I want to fight all three of these motherfuckers. This some bitch love to fight, dude. Man, he starts getting into it with him. I'm standing there like, damn, you know what? This some bitch really gonna fight all three of these dudes? Man, he jumped up and kicked one of them right in the face, man, knocked him fucking out, dude. And as he was going to the ground, he hit the other dude a couple of times, and that dude kind of staggered back, and he jumped back in this fighting stance, man, and was like, fucking, let's go, motherfuckers. He starts dancing around, and them dudes got in their vehicle and left and shit. Picked old boy up, man, because old boy was rolling around on the ground. He had knocked that dude out. And he finally started kind of coming to, rolling around. And we got in the car, and I'm just looking at him. I was like, man, you're a crazy motherfucker, man. You're just fucking crazy, man. Some bitch love to fucking fight, man. You had to be ready at all times. What's up, Anthony?
Like it was fun back in the day, but like I got arthritis and shit now. You know what I mean?
Right. My ass is getting old, man. I like trying to roll around out and travel and shit with motherfuckers.
No, that shit was before my kids were born.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That dude, man, god dang, he loved it. He's dead now, man. He ended up killing himself, man. Shot himself in the head.
Damn, man.
And some bitch was crazy, man. I'm telling you.
I'm down to fight pretty much whatever it needs to be done.
I'm down to fight. I experienced enough to know that for the next 2 weeks, I am pretty much stuck on the couch because I'm going to be needing to ice a whole bunch of shit.
Oh yeah, well it's like hangovers, right? Like they hurt more than they used to. Now it's the same thing with fighting. Well, like I remember the switch back when I was young. You know, like my parents raised me with like to not fight. You know, like talk it out, walk away, whatever. And then I got my fucking ass whooped, and I was like 11, and my old man, he was like, "Fuck that." He's like, "No, you fight back." So fast forward like a year and a half, something like that. This kid stole my bike. I found the kid. I found the bike. I beat the shit out of him and realized like, hey, I like this. So I kept fighting, and I kept getting better and better. And then it just got me in fucking trouble and got me arrested a few times. But like, I like to fight. I'm not afraid to fucking throw down. But yeah, that shit hurts, man. Like, shit.
Well, I think that's only because your sensitivity level is set to 11. If you brought it down to like a 3 or 4, like a normal testosterone man with less estrogen, I don't think you'd have that urge to fight so much because you wouldn't be sensitive all the time. You know what I mean?
It's possible. It's possible.
I thought we was gonna get into it that day at the gas station, Hutch, when me, you, and Ghost and all them, we were meeting up, you know, to head to
that
when that dude in that truck
in his mouth.
Yeah, I thought we was gonna get into it then, man. I seen you turn, man, and you was like, "What, motherfucker, boy?" You start walking that way. I was like, "Oh shit, here we go."
Sure, you probably would have if Elusive and I weren't in the store already.
I had my pistol, you know, and I kind of pulled, you know, got it kind of on the ready because I was thinking, man, Hutch gonna walk up this dude. This dude's gonna pull out a fucking gun, man. You know. And
I mean, can we just say though, all that happened because Milkmaid does not know how to drive. So
true that it was Milkmaid's fault. She did block the passageway, you know. What's up, man?
I try to avoid most anything nowadays. That's because I'll tell you, it's just I had a little crackhead out here that was walking down the road and started mouthing, and he got within 6 feet, and I told him at that point, probably about 6 to 8 feet, and I said, "I'm gonna tell you now, dude, you're fixing to close the distance, and when you do, I just want you to understand you made the decision, but you need to keep going." I try to talk and I ain't saying that I'm some Billy badass. I just try to remind people that it's like, look, I'm gonna try to avoid this if you let me, but if you don't, all I know is my number one priority is to go home when it's over. So whatever that takes. And I ain't into all this boxing and trading lick shit no more. I ain't in high school. I don't give a fuck.
see, for the most part, I don't care what you say, but just like blatant disrespect because of entitlement. Like you could sit here, your mom's a pig fucker. I'm like, okay, whatever. But like with the small social etiquette shit, and then like if you cut me off and flip me off, I want to burn your fucking house down. You know what I mean? Just that small little social etiquette disrespect is.
Well, YouTube's kind of helped me though build a bigger scar tissue to that nowadays, because you know it used to be you had the little sissy boys, you know, just kind of that would show every now and then, but with this whole digital world and this YouTube shit, it's all these keyboard warriors and everybody's a badass, everybody's a fucking green beret, everybody's, you know, the ultimate fighter, everybody's everything. And it's just, that's why a couple years ago when I started, I used to get so mad. Nowadays, I don't know, man. I just done tapered off. I'm watching this shit and I'm going, really? You know, really? That's what actually worries me sometimes about the whole society, though. Because you watch some of the shit that people are willing to put up with too, and it's like, really, that doesn't like strike anybody as jacked up. But okay, whatever.
Like shit, me and
See you, Tony.
Rescue were having this conversation backstage last week about the same kind of thing. Like when people were getting killed over the Popeyes chicken sandwich and shit. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they're dying over a sandwich." No, they're dying over the disrespect in the process of trying to get a sandwich. The sandwich is irrelevant. It's the disrespect. The little, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's the little things, you know what I mean, that people don't want to, the little nuance of shit that people don't want to realize. You know what I mean? Like you cut in front of me in front of say we're at Burger King. You cut in front of me at line when you clearly see I'm standing there. I bust you over the head with a fucking napkin holder. Boom, everybody's like, oh my God, they got we got in a fight because this motherfucker disrespectful.
Fucking napkin holder. What happened? I got my ass whooped by a napkin holder. Shit.
Right.
Motherfucking napkins was everywhere, man. It was like a bunch of hoodlums and shit.
What's up, Scat Pack?
But that's what
Yeah,
people don't realize.
to
It's
clean
that
up the
small
mess.
nuance of fucking social disrespect. That little bit of social etiquette is the difference between I fucking hate you and I hope your whole family dies. And okay, you know what I mean? It's understandable. But, you know what I mean? Just that
But see,
little acknowledgement. You know what I mean?
and don't you think that the internet and like social media especially has transformed our society into those little fucking pricks
Oh,
because
yeah.
they can say whatever
Yeah,
they
'cause
want.
everybody thinks they're a fucking
in their
king
mom's
and a
face.
queen. Slay queen. These bitches ain't queens. Motherfuckers live
Well,
on a
it glorified
And,
it.
and if they hit,
But
if they hit that small X in the corner, right, it shuts all that out, and then they don't have to deal with it anymore. Well,
Yep.
on the real street in real life, you can't just click the X. Like if you disrespect a motherfucker, that's gonna carry on for a little while. You know what I mean?
Yep.
When you disrespect the wrong person, but the internet has it's been the pussification and like the closeout to society where people think that they don't have to deal with the reality of your actions.
Oh, shit. Hold on.
because a lot of people, YouTube for instance, they avoid it. I mean, that's your thing. I get it, but I don't. I don't care. Like Mayhem, I'm not picking on you, but you said you'll never see him. See, I just different kind of people. Like I get it, it makes sense, but it's just not for me. You know what I mean? Like I don't care if I never see you again. If you're here for 10 minutes and you disrespect me, I'm going to disrespect you back just to let you know that there are consequences for disrespecting people. Not everybody's just passive. Okay, I'll let it go. No, there has to be some kind of accountability, even if it's something small like that. You know what I mean? Like if you come at me talking stupid, then I'm going to double my efforts and talk hella stupid to you. You know what I mean? But you know, I get it's not for everybody. It's all good. That's just how I get down.
Yeah.
Because you figure if you sit around and you disrespect 1,000 people and every single one of them takes it, that's just going to keep empowering you to keep disrespecting every motherfucker you come across because ain't nobody stepping to you to tell you you're a fucking retard. You know? So if you can get those one or two people to stand up and be like, no, you're a bitch and what you're doing is bitch shit, you might get that little bit of recognition from them. Like, oh, damn, maybe I am doing bitch shit. But if they can just keep rolling over at top of everybody, why would they ever fucking stop? Because nobody's telling them they have to stop. Like, oh, you could just do a drive-by disrespect on me. That's fine. There's no consequences. Keep it
I'll tell you
going.
right now, my old lady hates to go to the big city with me, man. Because them people, the rude drivers and shit, man, I'll be getting mad, boy. I'm like, man, fucking people, man. Fucking disrespectful, no couth having motherfuckers.
There's definitely places that my girl won't go with me for the same fucking reason.
Because I know a lot of people are under the illusion like, oh, this is just the internet. It's a black screen. It's not real life. But we have real conversations. We make real fucking friendships and connections and relationships. How the fuck is this not real life? You know what I mean?
That's something I taught. That's something I taught my children from day one, man. I've always taught my kids that all actions get consequences. All actions, every single thing you do, there's consequences to what you do. Now, what you do determines whether the consequences are good or whether they're bad. And you always have to remember that everything, you know, you do, there's consequences for. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, you know, you have to go into each situation and determine, you know, what's gonna be good and what's gonna be bad, you know. But there's always consequences for your actions, always.
Right.
Everything, you know, it's
opposite equal reaction.
You're always free to choose.
Right.
But you're not.
If you're respectful to me, I'll be respectful back. If you're a dickhead to me, I'm gonna be a dickhead times two right back. And
Well, that's the give what you get philosophy. That's all. You get what you give.
Yep.
It has to be reciprocal, otherwise it's you're just a fucking victim.
But the younger generations that are entering adulthood now have this fucking entitled view on life that they can act a certain way, but you can't react to their way and let them know, what the way it is. You can't tell me that. Well, listen, I've been doing this thing called life a lot longer than you little shit. So this is the way that it's gonna fucking go, or I'm gonna wrap you upside your head.
Why are you so violent this morning, man?
Right?
Jeez.
So angry. Do you need a hug or
I mentioned-
something?
He's probably the youngest one out of all of us.
Did you wear extra super skinny jeans today and it's like really irritating you or something? Is it going up in your vajayjay and making it sore?
Yeah, they're extra tight today. Yep.
Rubbing it raw and shit, and you got all violent and vicious and shit. I mean, damn, bro.
I think the skinny jeans are making his ankles
exfoliated with salt this morning too, so I'm a little salty.
Right.
No, man. I mean, real talk. Like, yeah. Oh, you're angry. You're aggressive. No, man. Fuck that. Like, I grew up in.
Maybe we come from different worlds. That's all that is. You know what I mean?
I grew up in the mindset where you did what was right, and if you didn't do what was right and you crossed lines, you got your fucking head smacked. And I never grew out of that. And that's the same mentality that I have. Like, obviously, the older I've gotten, I've smacked around less heads, but that's still the way I think. Like, if you act a certain way that steps across the line, I think you should get smacked in the fucking head because somebody didn't fucking teach you right. Whether it's holding the door open for a lady or blatantly disrespecting me as a man and my existence. Like, it's either smack you in the head or fucking smash your head against the wall a couple times. I still think that's why people get away with the way that they act, because they need to get smacked in the fucking head.
So then you should be doing your part, and you should be having children so you can raise them the right way to be examples, leading examples. So see.
Yeah, get out there and knock some folks up, hillbilly. Let's get some little baby hillbillies running around.
Right.
Y'all don't want none of me running around. But I do try to help install those values with like the kids that I am involved with. My neighbor's kids basically are the only people that I know that have kids, but
I'm not gonna lie. Over the last 10, 15 years, 20 years or so, the Karens have gotten so ridiculous, and everybody to where, like, somebody like me, I am not going to reach out to try to help somebody else's kid because I'm not going to have some crazy bitch get away from my kid, you creeper. Like, okay, fuck your kid then, lady. You know what I mean? Like, real shit. That's the mentality of the mothers and the fathers who are overprotective helicopter fucking parents have scared away any knowledge or anything from strangers helping your children out. Real shit. Let somebody walk up to your kid right now that you don't know, that's genuinely a person trying to help them or give them a little bit of wisdom or something. Automatic. Who's this creepy motherfucker talking to my kid? I don't do it. I don't care if I see kids on the side of the road, you know what I mean, with a certain age, obviously. You know what I mean? Young kids, I'm like, no. I'm like, you guys okay? Step off the road, and then I'm gonna keep going. I'm not gonna, because I don't trust people enough to do the right thing when it comes to things like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yep.
I see things a lot different nowadays since in the whole little chair aspect. Now it puts things in a different perspective for me too. I'd probably help more people before than I would now. Now I'm a little more cautious because I can only do so much.
What you trying to say, Mayhem? What you trying to say?
By the way, man, y'all ought to check out his little truck videos. He's been cracking me up. He does them little short trucker thoughts.
Yes, I am aware of what I look like. But see, like I come from one of those weird worlds. Like, America is a shit ton of different cultures. You know what I mean? Like, so we don't all have to agree and have to have the same opinions on shit. So I mean, it's all good. But like when it comes to finding a babysitter, little shit like that, I don't mind a felon being a babysitter, because chances are that felon is going to protect your kid more than some random teenager will. Just from the personal experience. because that's one thing. As long as you're not a child abuser or a toucher, you're going to protect that kid with your fucking life, because that's just a natural instinct. If you've been around convicts, that's just, you know what I mean? Kids are fucking sacred. You don't fuck with a kid.
You do without your family long enough, you learn to appreciate them a little bit more. So kind of view kids as different.
All I can tell you, Mayhem, is once you bro hug Hutch, man, you go to the dark side, man, and you never come back from that.
Right. Don't worry, Mayhem. Someday I will get you in an embrace, and you will feel all that is Hutch, and you will be bored immediately.
You know, Mayhem's kind of skinny. You know, he's got that soft. He's kind of got soft skin and stuff. You know, I think he uses that soft skin stuff on him. Yeah.
Right.
Skin so soft, that Avon shit.
Not the skin so soft.
Well, my mom used to sell that shit. I think she still does.
The dark side does have cookies, Mayhem, but it all depends on what you're willing to do for that cookie. What would you do for a Hut cookie?
Hey, don't forget, you are talking about the king of $20 is $20.
Just know, I'm gonna give you a cookie. The first cookie is free, Mayhem, but I might come to you in 2 weeks and say I want that exact cookie back, and I don't care how you do it, but I want that cookie back.
Wow. Oh.
You got to know. Don't hug me if you don't want the responsibility of what comes with it. I'm just saying.
Man, I got my damn long route today. I got to go all the way around that fucking mountain and then go over to the next mountain. And then I got to go out, come down that mountain, and then turn and go on another mountain and go all the way back around by the lake and shit. I got a long at the properties ain't shit, but damn, it's a long ass drive I got today.
I thought you were done mowing for the year. You squeak another rotation out?
Yeah, well, the temperatures, I mean, we're getting like, 50s at night, but we're getting back up into the 80s during the day, and grass over about 70 degrees, grass grows, man.
Grass probably likes that, huh?
So I'm glad to get another week or two out of it, because that, money.
Oh yeah.
He did it all for the cookie.
Oh yeah.
The cookie.
I just got a flood of calls yesterday because that basement job that I finished up, the customer posted a bunch of pictures of before and after, and said a bunch of nice things about me and my friend.
You got one over on them, didn't you?
What's that?
I said you got one over on them, didn't you?
Yes, Lady Smith. I'm actually at the bottom, right at the southern end of the Ozark Mountains stuff. So you turn north of me, just right here. I mean, I'm like right in a little town, and there's one more mountain south of me, and then it starts getting into a whole lot less mountains and stuff. But yeah, just you turn north, and what is it? It's like 10 minutes from my house, and it's up a mountain. You take off uphill,
It's not even that. Shit, as soon as you hit that first stop sign, you already got elevation for that stoplight right there by the Taco Bell.
Yeah, I live right at the base. We actually call it the foothills of the Ozark Mountains.
He's down in the holler.
Down in a holler. Down in a holler in here and down in between these old two mountains over there, boy. I tell you what, you just go over that way or go over that way right there, boy, and you'll use an old bunch of gas from broom up the street.
Backwoods is a holler back boy.
Calm down, Boom Holler.
He's a holler back boy.
Kithoff is just smacking the shit out of Hillbilly this whole time.
Who?
Take it easy, Yankee.
See, Yankee.
Who's talking shit?
Be safe.
Don't take that from that old lady. What's wrong with you?
I can't see the chat, so it means nothing.
Yeah, we got some hellacious hollers around here, Lady Smith. There's my go-to spot. I'll just put it that way. My go-to spot, where some people are going to meet up should said shit hits the fan event happens. It's way down off in a holler, and it's nothing but cliff sides and stuff. You know, but where we are is kind of way away from the cliff sides, but well, there's some hellacious hollers down in here, man. I guarantee you. Like you walk over to it and you look, and it's 200 or 300 feet down, and you're just like, shit, that's a long ways down there.
Arkansas's got that kind of terrain to where if you go off the road, you might as well try to figure out a way to climb up because ain't nobody looking down to see if you're down there.
Yep.
That's why shit goes down. I'm going to ship her off to her families, and then I'm just going to bunker down right here, and I'll be here until I'm not. That'll be that. My hover round only got so much range. That's that.
Right.
Shit, even a good pair of legs and climbing hands ain't going to get you out of some of these spots where I live at. But you're just
there are some spots that are like sheer cliff. Like there's nothing, there's no handholds. It's literally a flat fucking rock for like 100.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, Milkmaid came in, and we went and visited a holler to look at a place, at a house. It was a long ways down that hill, and man, crossed the creek like 2 or 3 times to get back in there and shit. It was adventurous going down in there. Yeah, Milkmaid can climb them. Hell, I looked around, so I go down in there with her, you know, because the dude that was showing her the property, I didn't know who he was. You know, it turned out he was a good dude. You know what I'm saying? He's nice guy and everything. But I didn't know the guy, so I went down there with her, and so we're going looking around and stuff, and they have some water catchment systems up on top of this hillside over there, and it's a pretty good little steep hill. I look around because her daughter wanders off down by the creek over there, so I'm kind of watching out for her daughter, you know, and everything. And I look back around, and Milkmaid's gone, like gone. Like I'm like, where the fuck did Milkmaid go? And I'm like, Milkmaid, where you at? You know, I'm looking all around, and she's way up on the fucking top of the hill already, man. She done scaled up there and shit. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, I know, Milkmaid. I was like, what the fuck? Where'd you go?
Hey, that hill climb will kick your ass, man, real quick.
She skirted right on up that damn hillside, boy.
She ain't number 15 fucking pounds, shit.
Well, that's true.
Strong gust of wind to blow her away.
That's true. Well, you know what? Actually, it was a little bit windy that day.
Scared of
Yeah, so she probably just opened up her little sweater or something, and she caught a flight and flew up there.
Right?
Like a flying squirrel.
Right.
Dude, I remember whenever as I come up and I saw her, and she is like as big as a minute.
Right. I thought she needed a booster seat to be able to drive that truck. I was like, how do you see over the steering wheel?
Little bitty old.
We definitely have some mini train stations here. I can put it that way. We got many train stations here, lots of them, where you can be thrown off a cliff and nobody will ever find you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Good to know.
You see, we got swamps and sand pits down here.
Cool. I got some shit to go do, so I'm gonna jump off of here. I'll talk to you guys later.
Later, man.
Good day.
See you, Hillbilly.
Smile. Why are you so angry?
I know. It's just
That boy
upset.
smokes too many pots and he just goes blank faced. And
Yeah, as soon as I can hear my boy letting the dogs out right now, as soon as he gets done with that, we got to head out and
take it easy, man.
Later, man.
see you, Mayhem. Yeah. I'll have to get to work here in a minute. Got to try to get that 1 or 2 more paychecks. I mean, I still get paychecks throughout the winter. I get winter work, but it's the paychecks ain't near as good. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, isn't there some? Didn't that Ryan Hall dude? Didn't he say something about some kind of storm coming or something?
We're supposed to get rain here on Friday. It's Thursday and a Friday.
Well, we did have rain in the forecast for Thursday evening, but they've taken it out. Let me look again because I hadn't looked this morning. Yeah, see, we still don't have any rain chances at all.
I think they're saying it's all going to be north of us. Pretty much from Warsaw to Kansas City kind of thing.
We're in I seen an official snow forecast, and we're in the 3 to 6 inch range, and y'all are in like plus 6 inches up to.
For what?
For snow.
Oh, this
the
winter?
Official snow forecast came out a day or so ago, and like you're right on the line of plus 10 inches. Like right where you're at, that line there, and so it could go north or south either way. And I'm in the 3 to 6, and you're in the for sure 6 inch range, but you're right on the line of the plus 10 inches of snow, which would be cool.
That's for like the whole season?
Yeah, for all winter. Yeah,
that's not bad as long as it doesn't all fall at once. Shit, because I mean that's usually what happens. It'll all fall at once. Gone 3 days.
I gotta say, at first I was wondering if he was talking about the harvest party thing. I'm like, oh well, that'll be interesting.
No, we won't get hit till probably late November, early December. Sometimes we don't even get hit till January, and then boom, January to April is our winter.
Yeah, they're saying November is when we should. Our whole area there. They just did another rocket barrage in Gaza.
See, I don't mind the snow. It's the ice that I hate. You give me some nice fluffy snow, you know what I mean? That stuff where it literally dampens the sound on everything. I fucking love it. There's nothing better. But we hardly ever get it. We'll get like 2 or 3 inches of slush and 2 or 3 inches of ice. That's all of our winters here have been that. We never get good snow.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
well,
JFK running as an independent.
He's
still a Democrat. Fuck dude.
Damn it, that damn rooster! I tell you.
So Kissoff voted for Fetterman, and she's going to vote for Kennedy. That makes sense.
She seems like a Fetterman type chick.
Yeah. She's probably got a shirt. There's a lot of people talking about RFK being the VP for Trump. I don't see that working.
JFK was here in Pennsylvania and announced his independence. Just say, can he now be on a Trump ticket? Well, he would be an independent. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of funny with my opinion because I'm kind of a basic kind of guy. So to me, I see the problem. The solution is a simple one, so it needs a focus. So all these people that have the right idea to fix the country and they're the one need to just really sit down, shut up, and get behind the one dude who's been in there, knows exactly how he just got screwed and knows what to address. And we actually now are addressing the problem. But right now, all them things have been Swami and all them little, everybody's just chiming in their 2 cents. And to me, any of them just means that they're going to get their way. Because
I look at it like anybody who's running for president right now, in my view, they are an enemy of America. Yeah. We all know Trump. He's got these motherfuckers by 60 points. Why are you? Is this some kind of money laundering scheme? You know what I mean? Like why are you still out here campaigning and spending money to run against a man that you know is going to win? Unless he dies, there's no point in anybody else running for president. So at this point, yeah, I look at them all as enemies of the country. Because Why are you clogging up the system? Why are you moving money around? Why are you trying to? It makes no fucking sense. We could all get behind the man that we know is going to win and actually do something, but yet we're still playing all these games. It makes no fucking sense.
So now South Korea is pushing to suspend a 2018 Korean military agreement in order to resume frontline surveillance on rival North Korea, as surprise attacks on Israel by Hamas militants raised concerns in South Korea about similar assaults by the North. So now you got South.
Vivek is an undercover communist. I don't trust that motherfucker at all. I hate his face, his voice. I hate everything about him.
I seen a video the other day where they were comparing Vivek's. They were comparing his speech, and he was saying the exact fucking same things that Obama was saying, nearly word for word.
Yeah.
Yep, nearly word for word, man.
And they've already got him. He was at the Democratic, like what was that one? He asked questions during the Democratic thing in 2008. So like he's a fucking exact snake in the grass.
Well, that's to me. I mean, any of them that have the, it's like, okay, no, things are definitely off the rails. Need to get it on the rails. Then why are you trying to leech off the system instead of trying to gather it behind one focal point? And that's the way I view all of them wanting to chime in right now. I expect it from the Pences and all them, Nikki Haley's. Hell, those are all career politicians. But like that little big Swami dude, I get it. And he might be trying to shoot for some VP. I just don't think that's the right approach. I think it's you get out then and get behind a Trump and trying to push people behind that. And it's so funny because they've shaped that narrative behind Trump that if you say that, then you're a Trumpster, you're a Trumper, and it's like, no, I view things as I'd rather a dude that's been through that and that knows now what to look for versus some fresh little new meat that says, oh, I've got the solution. And it's like, yeah, okay. You're kind of like every bank robber in prison because everybody had the bright ass idea, but yet you still keep going to prison. So I don't know that it was a bright ass idea.
Right. Exactly. No.
Here's
I think at this point, Trump has the power to pick. Trump should be able to pick his own VP, despite what the GOP thinks. This is my guy right here. You know what I mean? So,
well, he can because they're not even really behind him per se.
Yeah.
That's why they're not putting no money behind him. See, that's another thing. The actual GOP Republican Party, that little cabal, they're not. That's why they're corrupt. That's why I say right now, that dude's the only dude on the outside. I mean, literally everybody's going after him. The Democrats, but even the little rhino Republicans are going after him. So,
right, it's like Chris Christie. Like, why are you running for president? You have less than 2% of the fucking vote. You know what I mean?
Because he can use up that GOP money.
It's money laundering. That's all it is. It's all fucking money laundering.
Yeah. Y'all, I'm about to have to cut out, man. I need to go and get these properties did. So y'all have a great one. Everybody in the chat, y'all have a good day. As Rescue says, make it a great one.
Later, man. Keep your head on a swivel.
And remember, there's that's what I was fixing to say. Keep your head on a swivel, man. It's when you prepare your mind properly, things will fall into place. Just saying. Peace out, everybody.
Deuces.
Later.
Yeah, I don't really trust Trump either. Like I've said it long, lesser of two evils. I look forward to seeing what he does. He's gonna wreck some shit. It's gonna be fucking hilarious. But yeah, like the bump stock, the allowing the import of ivory, like he's still got Democrat roots. But nobody's perfect. But I would never trust a politician to begin with in the first place.
Well, that's it. It's not like you got to go all in, but it's like this is the playing field. Here you've got to go in and play this game. This is the game that's being played. Now you can choose from your quarterbacks to send in, or you can go ahead and, go, okay, I don't really care for the attitude, the personality, but you know what? Homeboy can throw the ball. That's all we care about. So it's like with him, he knows the targets. He knows now the weak spots. And people don't like the sound of that retribution, but hey man, paybacks have a positive side to them because it makes you focused and you know to where to pay attention to. So there's something to be said about wanting to get a little payback action.
I mean,
And I
because
think he just wants to
honestly,
clean
who
it up.
else? The day one, he has got to stop a war, and he's got to send people to prison. Who else is going to do that?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
nobody. None of them. See, that's why I said anybody that was really, to me, behind the idea of stopping all the corruption and trying to start correcting some of this would be behind him. It's just so, and I don't mean that in some loyal only fans of Trump per se. It's just that dude is one, the policies were good. So he had a right idea and he accomplished some cool stuff, even under fire of all that. And you got to remember the intentional target of the media, of all the hate talk, all the intentional bullshit and spinning of phrases and stories to promote that hate. But if you look at his mentality, America first, we need to build here, we need to make here, we need to support our shit, our people, our products, we need our country. There's nothing wrong with any of that. It's just it's been a mind fucking over the years of how that shouldn't mean anything. That should mean everything. He's not some savior or root of all, but right now nobody else can step up and do what he potentially could do. That's the way I view it. I see the field and I go, yeah, this is all cool. You might have the best intentions. Not right now. Because right now, this is a one-time only thing to me. We get to 24, this is it. We either make it to 24, and if we come out the other end, he needs to be in the seat. But I also follow that up with we need the damn Senate. We need to keep the House. Otherwise, him being in that White House won't mean shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've, I
That's
can
why
say Trump
local
also
matters, man.
be the
That's
House
why
and Senate.
local matters way more than the president does. Because if you ain't got no backup in your senators and your congressmen and your state reps, then it doesn't mean shit.
Yep. I will say that's the one thing about Republicans, man. The problem they always scream what they're going to do, which is okay, but you got to go out here and get the backing, and that's where they don't. And that's why it's like way back to J6. I said it even before the J6 going. I don't know, because they kept going after November. They were like, okay, well we'll see in January because we're going to do this, and it was like, okay, then we know now what to plan against, and that's how they do that shit. And like right now, they know that's why they're trying to get him off the ticket as much as they can because he'll get it. And they won't see. They're even worried that he'll have enough people show up that they can't even lie enough to cover that up.
Right.
That's what they're worried about. That's what this whole legal thing, get him off the ticket somehow. And
See,
what's
that's
scary is
backwards. We're talking about this a while back because we got all these people. Oh, never vote. Voting doesn't matter. If voting counted, it'd be illegal. Voting doesn't work because you motherfuckers don't vote. Look at the numbers who show up. If you literally had everybody who was supposed to vote, it would be hard for them to cheat. It'd be hard to do the fraud because everybody would be represented if everybody did their fucking part. I mean, that's how the system was supposed to work. Pull your weight, that way you're heard. You know what I mean?
well, if you've got 50,000 voters in your area and 50,000 people were to show up, then you can't make up any extra votes. So you've got to run with what them 50,000 people voted for. But we became so lazy and complacent that we've slowly handed that thing over that was the cost of freedom. You need to at least show up once a year on election day. You take a day and you show up and you tend to
got
business.
lazy and passed it off to other people. And
yeah,
well,
okay, I'll just let me
vote.
check this piece of paper or here. You know what? I don't even have to worry about it. I won't vote. And here we are. You end up with the mayors that, pass the laws that your city has. You end up with the county tax assessor that's taxing your shit as much as they are because these are all elected people.
Right.
But if you think about the foundation of the country, that was we the people. We the people. Well, that was your voice. And so we said, here's the system, and it's a voting system. The fact that it's corrupt is because people just stopped participating in it, and it enabled it to get to this corrupt level.
If everybody would have kept upholding their civic duty and paying attention and holding them accountable from day one, none of this would be where it's at. It's the people's fault. You get the government that you deserve. You got complacent. You gave too much trust to a bunch of fucking strangers, and you got what you got. Now you're bitching about the outcome. Don't be mad at them. Be mad at yourself for being lazy the whole fucking time. You know what I mean? There's always something that somebody could have done somewhere along the line. You know what I mean? Just in my opinion, voting matters. If you think
check your local
matter,
counties, even on YouTube, your local county might have like a commissioner's court or some shit or whatever they call it for your county, and they might actually have a channel on YouTube that you can follow the hearings or the meetings that they do, because there is a process that these people all follow, and they've intentionally clouded it and kind of shrouded it behind this fog, and so people don't pay any attention to it. Well, now the powers of that shit's coming to show itself, so you got to clear through the little fog, go look at the process, get involved with the election thing. If you don't do anything but just go down there and watch. Well, I don't know. I just want to see you scan shit. Hey, I don't know about that one. I mean, just chime in so you can be a voice. It's the voice. It's the active role in the society. So you can sit on the couch. You can be one of them armchair quarterbacks, but you just need to be quiet, to be honest, because now's not the time. That's what got us to this point.
Right. Just
Now
the same people who don't want to vote are the same people who are saying, okay, it's time to burn it down and let's go to war. But yet they don't have a plan for after the war either. It's a bunch of blind leading the fucking blind.
Well, that's something I said a couple of years ago. I don't think went over very well at that time either. But it's like, it's easy to talk about 76 and throwing down and the 3% and how it was. But don't forget one thing is that was years in the building up to that. There was documents that were laid out, a foundation to it, and then it was thrown down, hence the Declaration of Independence. There was like here you go, we're done with your shit. Here's all the things you've been doing wrong. We're done with it. And we were so righteous that we had an outside country coming to help us.
But that was also fighting an enemy that would take months to get to you into a place that has zero infrastructure. You know what I mean? So
this one here is you got your vote, and so now it's you need to get down and participate in your county shit. You've got some kind of town, you got a town hall, you've got a school board, you've got a county commissioner's court. Then you go get involved in those things. Start listening in, figuring out how this system works. How do they do that? And then let's just like the school. We talk about all this weird shit going down in schools. Well, if you want to say in the school, you go down and get involved with the school board. That's all elected positions. Go down there and listen to them. Start building. And, people, the screaming is no. Start going door to door. Start talking to people. Bring people up going, hey, man, we need to unify our voice. So we need to focus on, and then start gathering voices. You can go down there and talk at those things and chime in your 2 cents, but start just talking to people, kind of pointing them out, going, hey, man, we can change this. Did you know that they're doing this? All we got to do is have a voice. Just remind people, because that's what it is. It's we the people. Those 3 words to me is where the foundation of all this comes from.
You gotta plant the seeds and spread the awareness. That shit matters. If people, you can't sit around and complain about the way your life is and not do shit. You know what I mean? You've got to get outside that fucking echo chamber and actually fight for the things you want. If it's not worth fighting over, you know what I mean? It's not worth bitching about. And if it's not worth bleeding over, it's not worth fighting over. You know what I mean? So you got to take a lot of this little shit serious, because the slippery slope concept, we've all seen it's a real fucking thing. You know what I mean? Stop letting people trample all over your fucking liberties just because you're too lazy to go down and make a phone call or knock on a fucking door. Say, hey, officer, can I have a ride along? You know what I mean? Like any of these little fucking things, just get involved in some kind of way. It doesn't fucking matter. Just
give an inch.
Country back.
Well, because it's all in the comfort. That's how they've sold it up to this point. It was all in the ease and the comfort and the security, and don't you worry about a thing, and it's not really worth it here. We got this, and so you just kind of focus on things. And I get it, because I'm just as guilty. So you focus on these things, but that's the best recommendation, is to not focus on it. kind of get paying attention back to where you're at and the things you got to say. You got to say, even if you live in the cities, if you get enough people chiming in and you don't, that's the one thing that's always fascinated me about like Chicago, or even now when you see Philadelphia or you see these other cities. I don't understand what happened to those people in those cities that just drive by or walk by that shit and just go on with their day-to-day life. It's like, well, I couldn't do that. I guess I would probably be making it, I would either be on my off hours right down there at that city hall chiming in, or I would be passing. I mean, you bring attention. No, this has to go. You can't just, let me step over you and go ahead and go into my Starbucks. It's like, what? How do you? And you just kind of wonder, because that's like
the only way I'm voting for you is if you're Secretary of Coffee. Just saying.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah, ride-alongs. Yeah, if you could do a ride-along, that's cool shit.
Yeah.
With the police, even with your sheriff, get to know your sheriff, because I know a lot of you guys have. See, I look at it from, just because your sheriff is nice to you and friendly with you doesn't mean he's a tyrant piece of shit to a lower class or people that live over here or these people just because he doesn't like them. You know what I mean? So do more investigating on your sheriffs and shit like that than just, hey, I'm going to come hang out with you and have a casual conversation for 10 minutes, because that's not going to tell you shit if he's just a lazy tyrant piece of shit, because anybody can make their mouth say anything. Because we had an incident with our sheriff department over here that is really got me. I'm going to make some signs and get this fucking pussy out because he's a lazy piece of shit. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go into the details of it, but he does not deserve to be a fucking sheriff. He's a lazy piece of shit. So little things like that. It doesn't matter how nice they are to you or the people that you know. How mean are they to the people just in general when they're on the job? Because it's not how good a cop is, it's the bad that a cop does that makes a cop bad or good. So
it shouldn't even be if they're nice to you. It's like, are they, I mean, even if, because everybody kind of knows if you're right or really wrong or not. So it's like, but does that sheriff actually, is he trying to be constitutional? Is he actually trying to be fair and just with the right and wrong? Or is he kind of just shading to one side or the other? Because even if you happen to be on the benefiting side, it's a one-sided sheriff. So at any time, then sides could change, and then where you're going to be. So it's just, sheriff needs to be neutral. He needs to be fair and needs to be constitutional. And it's an elected position, so you can make other people around you become aware of that and the importance, and you talk to them in different ways, whatever you need to for their mentality. But change that shit, you can vote him out. They actually did it around here. I mean, granted, he was there for 2 terms before they finally got enough voice to change it. But yeah, he had that one-sided good old boy view, and that just didn't really jive. And then even once the other side got aware of it, see, that's when it changed.
If you want the position of public office to be a representative of the people, then I don't give a damn how many good things you do. What I'm keeping track of is how many bad things you do. You know what I mean? Because I would rather you be neutral, straight across the board, than just be a fucking evil tyrant to just one person. Because that one person that you fuck over and take away their civil rights and all this other shit, you're a bad cop, plain and simple. It doesn't matter how much good you've done, because your job is to do good. You don't get rewarded for doing what you're supposed to do. It's your fuck ups that you get audited on. You know what I mean? In my opinion.
Find out good ones, bad ones, and the level shit that's out there. Yeah. Well, yeah, especially, I mean, ride-alongs are useful. Hell, you could even do a paramedic ride-along or some shit, maybe.
Yeah. See how these people interact with the public. The people who are supposed to have authority, you know what I mean? See how they actually interact with the public.
Well, then watch the public in action.
Yeah.
You can see the public in action. You'll see the public, and you'll see the reaction to the public. So you kind of start to get a third-person perspective on just how screwed up this little soup bowl is.
Because, like, don't get me wrong, some people need to be yelled at and thrown on the fucking ground. You know what I mean? But a lot of times it's just civilness. The civilness of the job is what gets me.
I don't know if it's working, Huckleberry. Oh no, you did Ganboy anyway. You got to spell it right. So
Gamble. Yeah, there's no M.
see, you should have gone to a legitimate school.
Damn public education. All right, I'm gonna roll one more pots and then I'm gonna get out there and start digging.
How is that going? Have you done any more digging on it?
It's I had to fill it up with water again yesterday. I only need to go like 8 inches deeper, and then it's good to go, and then run my trench lines. But
It's a good chunk of rock.
it's like it's a gravel bed mixed with clay, so I'm gonna have to literally get on my hands and knees with one of those little garden forks and scrape a pile. Dig, you know what I mean? It's fucking sucks.
Oh yeah.
And it's cold as shit, so I'm not looking forward to that at all.
No, try it again, Huckleberry. It should work now. No, wait, why is it? There. It's turning itself off for some reason.
Hey, how many of you people in the chat are in top chat still? And how many of you have not hit the thumb? I know there's at least 5 of you.
Right.
Trying to live like communists up in here, rent free and shit. What's wrong with you people? You get 2 hours of entertainment and you can't even hit the button? It don't cost you nothing. Selfish is what you are.
And it didn't take my exclamation, I guess, because I'm an admin or something, or it's my channel, I
Yeah,
guess.
there's,
But it worked, so there we go.
So Huckleberry 1,000 points, 10,000 points.
I can't go to top chat. It kicks the rest of people off. Doesn't kick me off. I'm in live chat and also hit the like before I said anything. Well, let's see. She's probably the one dislike I always get is what it is. There's always one.
Why you pissing people off?
Yeah, there's always one. It always cracks me up. And sometimes it goes away. That's what's funny too. Now that'll happen. Sometimes I end it and there'll be one. And then in a couple of days, all of a sudden that one that was there isn't there anymore. So I don't know if they can actually go back and click it and take it away, or if it's because the account's not there no more. Or
you can go back and click it. You can unclick your thumb anytime you want to.
Oh, okay. So like if you did a live and I hit the dislike button, I could wait a few days and then go back to up on your page, go back and find it. And if I hit the unlike button again, it would take it away.
Yeah, you can wait a year. If you've ever thumbed anything, as long as you can find that video again, you can go through and switch it anytime you want to.
It's made bigger for you.
I don't know how many thumbs down I get. I don't even check anymore because you got to go to YouTube Studio and shit to see it now, don't you?
Actually, you really can't even see it there. Where you see a percentage in the studio, so you'll see the percentage there. And see, it's like that. People forget why they took that down. That was like, there's no magical fancy foo-ha-ha behind that shit. They have no problem telling you got 200,000 likes. The reason why they took that dislike button is because the minute little dip show farthead got in there and creating havoc with the country, people that whole ratio went topsy-turvy shit, and all of a sudden it's 200,000 thumbs down, and it was like, oh shit, wait a minute. And it was like,
hide the hate.
Take the visual away.
It's
We're not going to be able to sell how awesome this economy is doing if everybody can see the dislikes.
Well, you have fun, Rabid.
Can you imagine if they had the dislike button right now, what you'd see with all the Ukraine shit, the border shit?
Oh, it would be out of fucking control.
All the press secretary crap. Because, dude, every time that chick gets up there at that podium, all she does is spew lies. I mean, I
That
don't.
Jean-Pierre.
Yeah.
I know every time they recommend one of those Disney shorts to me, I pause it so I don't watch the video. You get a thumbs down, and I go straight to the thing and say every single one without fail, Disney sports pedophilia, and boom, it's just I have to. You know what I mean? Nope. There are some channels that I will troll like that to where I'll just, I won't watch your video. I'll pause it, that way you don't get the watch time. But I'm gonna jump in and drop a fucking troll comment and flip out. You know what I mean?
The troll comment.
I nitpick shit like that too, like on the TV too. Like if it's one of those channels or a show that I'm like, because they know how to keep track of how many people watch when it gets turned off. The same way on YouTube, you can see how long somebody watched, when they changed the channel, all that shit. So on the channels that in the shows that I don't like I'm not giving you any air. Like I will walk in the house and be like, oh, I'm changing the channel and walk, because you know what I mean. All that
Later,
little
brother.
shit matters. All that's being tracked. You know. They're like, oh, 10,000 people are watching The View right now. Okay, we know that's good. But if you go and change the channel, be like, oh, just all the little shit like that is I pay attention to, because all that shit matters.
Yeah.
The statistics of shit, because that's how the country runs. All that little shit that we don't pay attention to. The same reason McDonald's is yellow and gold. You know what I mean? It inspires you to want to stay and eat. All these little marketing tricks. You know what I mean?
Dude, there's books on that shit. That's what really kind of gets me is I don't understand how more people are. I guess what fascinates me is how so many people forgot about that. I guess because I mean, there's books on marketing about that. It's just like if you get into any advertising and stuff, there's literally books that'll talk about the fonts, the colors, the shapes, the type of layouts, how you don't want to have too many to contrast another. There's all kinds of weird shit about that. And yeah, it's a mental thing, and we've been doing it for a couple hundred years. Because it's a psychic thing, it's a mental thing. Once people started kind of cluing in on human behavior, that's why we've been doing shit for
if
thousands.
you want to practice your situational awareness, like that's a good thing to start navigating propaganda and marketing tactics and shit, and you'll start seeing all kinds of little shit, and then like real life things will become more obvious because you're more in tune to what's going on. Like the psychology of shit, I've been saying it forever. I love the psychology of shit. All the little behind the scenes shit that just literally brainwashes a nation. All the psychology of it. That's where you're going to find your answer to how do you defeat the enemy. You know what I mean? You got to actually figure out what the fuck they're doing to you before you can fight it.
Dude, we were talking about that the other day, and I told her the mask thing came up again. I go, I'm still blown away by that when I sit back and think about that. I mean, because think about it, man. You literally, not only did they convince people to put this on, but then they reached a level that they convinced people to put another one on top of that one. And I said, how do we get so stupid? And it's just like they literally sold that. You would have thought that would have been some Saturday night skit that you're watching on TV when Homer is telling you to put a second one on top of this one. And it's like, wait, what? Oh, and no. People did that. And it's like, how did we get so mentally weak? Where did the mentally weakness come from? And then you got all this shit that goes out, and it's like, yeah, but people stop thinking common sense. We talk about that common sense out the window, but yeah, but break that. Think about that. How did we just lose the basics? That you can really.
It's easier to scare people than it is to make them have a good time. So, like, we even see it in our own fucking people, all this fear porn and all this other bullshit. As long as you keep some invisible boogeyman so far away that it's so big and so massive of a fight that you'll never win, that all you can do is keep pointing it out while you're hiding. Like that's where they want you. They want you scared, thinking that there's some massive monster out here that you'll never be able to tackle. And then they just let you invent all the stories about that monster inside your own head. Next thing you know, you got people out here voting's not going to work. All these little things like this, because it's so big, we can't fight it. It's the government. It's scary. It's all this shit that just makes you scared of everything. it's really not. You know, like there's really nothing scary about it. But you once you get somebody scared, you can't explain logic to somebody who's being irrational. You know what I mean? So
This is
it's
true. Yeah, because some of this stuff I gotta say, and I talked about this before. Some of this would just I don't understand. It's transformed. It's like you know some of the good little myths that used to be just kind of like your campfire, fun stories. The Bigfoot, the Loch Ness monster shit, and all that. Or you talk about maybe oh no, man, and it's almost like it's become, I guess you'd say, almost cultish because it's almost like that we call it a rabbit hole. I guess you could call it a rabbit hole or just a freaking lost cave in the desert. But it's like once you start going down, man, you're so distracted that then all of a sudden you don't even think about the little election for your city person or your county person or your school board. Or while you get a say, you actually get to decide some shit, and all of a sudden you're sitting there expecting the government to give you $2,200 every month. You have no understanding how the government doesn't make money. All they do is collect taxes. So when they give shit away, they're giving away taxpayer stuff. So
it's like, who came up with the term "you never talk about religion or politics"? Why? Those are the two things that should be talked about. That way, they're destigmatized.
Because back in the day, see, I grew up that way. I remember hearing my dad even say that when I was about 13 and 14, going in refineries with him, and that was always the running joke was you don't ever talk about religion or politics. But then it was, I think, a more simple. Now, a societal thing was different. Politics, I think, didn't have so much control over life, so it wasn't on the front line as it is now back then, because you still were building infrastructure and stuff, so there was still a push. It hadn't plateaued yet.
But it didn't have that control over our lives because nobody was pushing that don't talk about politics or religion nonsense. You know what I mean? Like once that started, like once that became, like you said, like the 50s and shit, 40s, 50s, around that era, that's when the corruption, all the, everything started being infiltrated. It's like somebody got in there and was like, hey, we need to tell the people the government's not that big of a deal. Keep it silent, keep it to yourself. That way, if you've got a population that's socially accepted to not talk about a government, it's impossible for that society to talk about revolt and revolution because nobody talks about politics or religion. But those are the things that they should be talking about because this is your literal freedom and your afterlife, depending on your religion, obviously. Like these are the two things that should be discussed and not hidden away. Because as America, freedom of religion, freedom of everything. You shouldn't have to hide who you are. These things should be accepted by the populace because these are the two things that really fucking matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Religion,
Well, I think it had a different meaning. It's one of those times like back then it was because it was like a mutual agreement. Like work didn't involve if you were a Democrat or Republican, or it didn't matter if you were a Protestant or a Methodist or Baptist or Catholic or whatever. And so that was the mentality back then. But I think those phrases got manipulated. It's kind of like the First Amendment now. The First Amendment gets perverted, and people try to say that, well, that gives them these rights, but you don't have the right. So they lose truth. See, they're slowly perverting it. It's like the whole LGBT, they're slowly converting things. Now we're maps instead of a pedophile, and it's that word change. They're taking word salad. That's what I call it. Because back then it was just different. The mentality back then was it didn't matter what your politics was or religion. That's why it was like that. Two things we're not going to bother talking about is religion and politics, and it was because it was the job. It wasn't like taboo to talk about them. It just that we're not going to worry about who.
It just wasn't the place for it.
Right. Now it's been perverted and twisted to where it's been now shamed into where, you don't talk about that. And then to me, on the educational side, they made politics. It's like the word debate. I actually say that too. It's debate used to have a different meaning. It was like a practical point. It wasn't like I'm going to stand out here at noon and we're going to debate if it's sunlight or not. And it's like, dude, it's like 100% factual sunlight. What are we debating? Or when people go, hey, let's debate God. How are you debating God, dude? That's your whole mentality and your thought and your belief.
You can't prove it. You can't prove it either way, so there's no point in arguing about it.
Well, that's it. There's no debating. And then you got right and wrong. And see, and I think that there's a difference between right and wrong versus debating. Debating is how you might solve a certain problem. But, you know, should a 10-year-old have the right to snip off their ding ding? No, that's not a debatable topic. I mean, it's like, nope, that was a no. Well, yeah, but we need to debate that. No, there isn't. What kind of common ground do we need to read? There's no common ground. Nope. Shouldn't be allowed. Plain and simple, period. Boom. But we've allowed this gray area to slowly increase to where that's becoming topic. It's now, that's why you have these drag shows. Because that's me and her talked about that. It's like, dude, can you imagine when the kids were little? If this shit was in our face back then, you can't even hardly get your head around that to going, wow, yeah, there's no way.
See,
But
I think they killed the
consensus-
word debate because, like, if you look at, when you had Hillary against Trump, that was a debate because they both had opposite sides and opposite end goals. So if you have two people on the same side that have the same end goal, what is there to debate about? You know what I mean? Oh, you're having an argument on which direction to go. That's not a debate. You know, so when you got 16 people on stage that are all saying we have the basic same foundation, but what is there to debate about? You know what I mean? So like they've killed the word debate because it doesn't mean anything because there has to be opposition. You have to tell me why this is better than this. You have to tell me why this is better than this. You know what I mean? It's just grandstanding is what they've turned a debate into. So there's no actual logic or a cause to fight for. Like if you're all fighting for the same thing, what are you debating about? You know what I mean? It makes no sense.
We're going to debate how to put the fire out.
Right? It makes no sense. Milk, I get what you're saying, but see, if you took away the taboo about it and you introduced children to politics and religion as I mean, some people are going to be zealots about it, obviously, but if you don't make it such a taboo topic in the house, you know what I mean? So I mean, like nowadays, it's obviously, you can see it. Trump supporters are bringing toddlers with, you know what I mean, full-blown Trump gear and shit. Like kids are involved now, and that's the way it should be. Kids should be involved in politics enough to know what's going on before they get to their teens and 20s to where it's all emotion pushing their ideology of politics. You know what I mean? So like if it becomes not necessarily a zealotry thing to where, oh, we talk about politics every single day, but where it's incorporated in your life a couple times a week, a couple times a month, to make it a normal thing. Like, oh, we pay attention to this person who's literally making decisions that affect our life. Get them into that habit of paying attention to that. And, you know, they can form their own opinions. Obviously, some of them are going to be swayed. But the younger you get them used to that, the more responsible they're going to be with it when they are making those irrational decisions as a teenager, in their 20s and shit. You know what I mean? In my opinion.
You got to see examples too. The kids need to see the examples. And we make it sound like politics is all complicated. And I don't, realistically, it doesn't have to be that complicated. And I don't think it was supposed to be that complicated. I think that's what part of what they've done is created a job of that so that then they can create their career out of that shit. It's not, that wasn't the take on it. It wasn't like there wasn't supposed to be a stack, this high on a desk of tax codes and shit like that. So all this governmental political bullshit is all self-created for them to create their own job. That's what we got to. So if we ever start to clean house, it'll simplify a lot because states ought to control shit and your counties need to be controlling the shit within your state. And then, so the federal government shouldn't be that big to begin with. So when you think about politics, if you really get down to the reality of it, you would just, as you take your kid to school, you could explain the school board politics of it as how, well, there's a group of people and they get up as a board and that way they can oversee all the different schooling. So you explain it. Well, they can get an understanding as they're growing up. You start explaining how your county is broke down that way. You have a tax assessor, they assess taxes, and this is why that happens. You have a county judge, you have a county DA, you have emergency management. You start explaining the positions of a local thing. I think it would open up a lot. And I wish I had done that with mine even more. I'll say that up front. So I'm not chastising nobody. I'm simply speaking out of experience. I wish I could have done that with mine. If I could go back, I would. And not to pollute them or occupy them. They would still have fun and be able to do it, but you just make them aware. It's kind of like, you know, and I don't know how many people have heard this. It's like guns, and I don't know, I feel this way. The problem we have nowadays is more people are secluded from guns. Like when I was growing up, guns were everywhere. So you just like instinctively learned about guns, whether you did them, handled them or not. You just knew. Not like you went to your friend's house. Nobody had to like tell you dozens of times, don't mess with that. There'd be a deer rifle right inside the front door. There'd be a shotgun propped up there in the living room. But you just, because society as a whole, just this was the norm. So you just like knew that, okay, it's touching the burner on the stove. You just knew not to do that. You just, there you go, don't do that. Well, then we crested this point to where, oh, well, just let kids be kids. Don't want to tell nobody no, don't want to hurt no feelings. Yeah, you know, there's sunshine and rainbows for everybody. You know, we're all gonna love each other. It's all good. Here you go. And next thing you know, you got 9-year-olds popping caps in people and shit, and they're playing with guns. You got 4-year-olds accidentally shooting a cousin because they found the gun in the drawer. Or, you know, just because we've stopped that consent. Well, I think that trickles in every damn thing: respect, strength, integrity, character, truth, all of it. It's the gambit. The societal example is not righteousness. It's lawlessness. What's up, Miss Jane?
Yeah, sheltering your children is good to an extent, but over sheltering your children is just going to make them victims in the long run.
Well, you shelter your kids, you're doing them a disservice. If you protect your kids, then that's a righteous duty, I guess, because to me the difference is protecting. I'm just telling you to go in your room and sit. I got this. Just go in there. They're not aware of what's happening. They don't know what you're doing. They don't understand the problem. You're there. Protecting them, they're right there with you, and they're learning from you, and they're seeing you.
Yep, how you handle that
You're
situation.
explaining to them, you're protecting.
Because eventually they're going to have grandkids that they're going to be in the same position. Do you want your grandkids protected by a fucking simp, or you know what I mean, or somebody who's got the balls to handle things rationally and logically? You know what I mean? So you got to think long term with kids, man.
Yep.
Too many people are having them fucking as accessories now. That's the sad part about it. But like I grew up in the 90s. My brother was dating this chick. She had 5 kids, and every single one of them have shit credit now because she got the phone turned on in their name with the Social Security card. Remember all?
Not that.
So this chick was literally bragging, real shit, literally bragging about, oh, this line of credit's almost up. Go ahead and get me pregnant. Talking to my brother. I was sitting there in the room. She was talking about we need to have another baby because this credit's almost used up. So she was literally having kids for the fucking Social Security number.
And when those kids get older, they're already going to start a shit spot because.
And this was the 90s and shit, like 96, 97. You know what I mean? Like,
man, I remember hearing some people doing that.
I have lived with the trash people. I'm telling you, there are some fucking trash people out there, man. It's boy.
Well, they're the leeches on the system. That's the underlying part of the problem that you don't see. Everybody talks about the politicians and the policies or this, but there's that underlying film that's already been established because of that ongoing problem. And that's all the, no offense to be, well, I get it depends on your status. So just take it for what it's worth. But I think we did food stamps one time, and if you need it, you need it. But if you stayed on it, can't say I agree. So I'll just leave it with that. I don't know. Maybe it's the way I was raised, but if I can't provide or take care of myself and my own, then I got an issue and I need to address that issue and fix that issue. Otherwise, it's really hard to say that I'm being a man,
Like, don't get me wrong. I've been on food stamps. I got no problem with food stamps, but I refuse to make it a lifestyle. You know what I mean? There have been moments where I'm like, I need to survive. This is what I got to survive. And boom, as soon as I'm good again, I don't need it. You know what I mean?
That's it.
I don't. It's not a lifestyle to me. That's the bottom of the barrel. That's when you hit the thing. You're like, okay, how do I not get in this situation again? Because anything worse than this is, you know what I mean? That's a shit existence. You can't do it. You know what I mean? You got to get out of that mindset of, ooh, they're gonna pay me. I can just sit on my ass and live like this forever. That's a shit existence. That is the
That's it.
shit existence. You know what I mean? And it gives you no purpose. When somebody's paying you to be alive, you have no purpose. You know what I mean?
Well, when
And
somebody's doing the stuff for your existence, I guess that's where I don't even understand how we got to that part, because it's like that. I don't know. That would shame me. I mean, I couldn't sleep. I would feel so restless, and I would be shamed. It's like somebody else is having to tote my bill. I'm actually relying on. I'm not putting nothing in the game, and I'm just getting this. And I can say this in all honesty, true. I've never understood the whole money back shit on taxes. You pay in 1,200 and they'll give you 2,500 back, and it's like, well,
right,
wait, how'd that go about? And it's like, I've never understood the concept behind that. But I do know that there's people, and we were that way for a while. That's why I just used to be like, okay, well, and you actually know that every year, so you plan. That's part of your lifestyle now. It's like, okay, we're going to upgrade to the new TV, or we're going to upgrade and get you a new set of tires, or we're going to you find people talking about using that chunk of change for something, and so it's a mindset. And then it's like housing authority, dude. To me, that whole design is just to keep you in there. You're living off the system. Literally, somebody's providing you with a residence. They're giving you medical care. They're giving you food, and you're getting a monthly supplement so you can do your toiletry and all your shit. And it's like, matter of fact, when I got my Social Security, me and that judge had words, because that's exactly what I brought out. Is like, it's like, do you understand?
you got somebody in the basement.
Nope.
Oh, I thought I heard the click.
I said, you mean to tell me, Mike, I got a daughter that can go down there and within 30 minutes walk out with medical care, food stamps, housing, and monthly supplement. And I'm sitting here having to go months arguing with you for just some of the money that's mine, that I paid in. I'm not asking you for none of your shit. I just want my money.
Oh, I fucking hated it when because we were doing struggling up north, but my cousin who like literally lives off $600 a month in food stamps, $900 a month in TANF. You know what I mean? Like, these motherfuckers. Ooh, look, we just bought these brand new Jordans, and you know, like I'm like, you be buying all this trivial shit. We're over here fucking damn near starving and freezing and shit. And you're, you know, it builds up a resentment when you see the abuse on the system to certain, you know, like it's certain levels. You're just like you're fucking trash, bro. You know what I mean? Like I love you, but you're fucking trash. You know what I mean?
Well, that's when I started seeing people a little different, to be honest, and right, wrong, or indifferent. But dude, it's like, I kind of put myself in those positions, and it's just that if a situation has arisen and put you there and you're striving to get out of it, totally get that. If you stay there, something in you, either A, you just threw in the towel, or B, you're a weak-minded leech person that just has been waiting for the little
Well,
crack in the door.
you can't win the what is it, the abuse Olympics if you're not part of the game. Everybody complains about, oh, it's we got such, you know, it, it's a badge of honor how much of a victim you are nowadays. So it's
Right?
worst.
Exactly.
Like I live in the worst neighborhood with we got the highest murder rate. You know, like all that shit's a badge of fucking honor. So you'll have people that literally hundreds of thousands of dollars in all government assistance, drug money and shit, still living in the same shitty neighborhood, bitching about how how rough their life is, but yet that's their bragging point is how rough their life is. You know what I mean? It's like it makes no sense to me. The whole culture of we got the highest murder rate in this city. Like that's not something to be proud of. That's fucking stupid.
Right.
You know?
Well,
Like,
that's what's gotten me about the whole slum and the ghetto talk. You hear that terminology over the years. It's like, but how do you allow your area to get like that?
right?
I mean, did nobody ever want to walk out and pick up anything, or maybe maybe tell the people to stop painting those buildings so that it doesn't look that way? Or, I mean, at what point do you just go, oh, I don't know?
Right.
And that's what that's. It seems like people just walked away because around here, dude, I guarantee you, somebody. Matter of fact, it happens every now and then because accidents just happen, and you have a trash bag that somebody was taking off to the dump, but they forgot it was on the toolbox on their truck, so now it fell off. And dude, people pull over and pick that shit up. Nobody ever wants to look at that shit.
Right. That's what we the boy had a girlfriend a while back, and she tried to do the oppression Olympics shit with him. You know what I mean? Because like, oh, our life is so hard and blah. No, all you need is somebody to put your shit in perspective. Like, are you fed? You got new clothes on your back? You know what I mean? Do you get beat? Do you get verbally abused? No, shut the fuck up. You're not abused. You know what I mean? There's no pride in oh, this happened to me, so you know what I mean? Like,
But I'm mistreated. I wanted the new iPhone i15, and they said no. My parents suck.
yeah, I people just piss me off with that shit. This like I grew up this way and it was tough and nobody helped me and blah. What do you mean nobody helped you? You've been on food stamps for the last 10 years. Don't tell me you did this shit on your own. You know what I mean? It's like, no, get the fuck out of here. Did your parents potty train you? Did they raise you till you were 5 or 6 and then you didn't do it on your own? I hate that fucking expression. Nobody has ever done it on their own in the history of fucking ever. Were you born? Were you raised? Were you reared? Did they keep you alive long enough to learn how to fucking talk? You didn't do it on your own. Shut up. You know what I mean? It's fucking stupid.
Well, there's them special people, and they were born in a room that had all the supplies they were going to need for the next 18 years that got them up there, and they were totally successful. I don't know who the fuck they are, but I guess they're out there because some of these people think they're self-righteous.
Right? I hate that shit. Like I went through this and like I don't give two fucks. What are you doing right now? You know, that's all that matters to me. I don't care what you did, what you went through. What are you doing right now? That's all that matters to me. You know?
What's up, Grumpy?
Everybody's got a sob story. And like
well, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, only from the other perspective when we were talking about how people will say, oh, you need to do this. It's the same concept on that end too, because everybody thinks their situation is like, this is the worst. Oh my God. Like this is, oh my God, I don't know. I couldn't hardly handle this. And it's like, well, just so you understand, there's like 8 more billion people on the planet, and everybody experiences and has a different experience in life.
Right.
All different aspects, different why. And you can't just go, oh, well, I live in a city. Well, I live in a city. Well, I don't know. It depends on what city. Where in that city? What kind of city was it? What kind of neighbors did you have? Did you kind of work? I mean, there's so many variables to life nowadays. When you really look at it, you know, you can just go, yeah, well, I worked, you know, for 40 years. Okay, cool. You know, how was the family life? How was the work life? How was the town life? I mean, there's just so much shit. So people just talk like their thing is the only thing. And now with this, like you said, where the victim mentality seems to be the thing now, because there's always somebody or something to blame for something. That way,
like, that's my brother. He thinks that his life has to be. I work, you know, every single second of he's a truck driver. So he's like, I have to work every single second of every single day for this amount of time to make me a productive citizen, you know, like that whole mentality. So he gets pissed off at me and he'll drive. That's why I don't fuck with him. Cause we, like, yeah, but he'll get on that mindset of, oh, I'm out here working, doing this. And you just get to stay at home and do this. And you got all this. And you know, that mindset, like, you sit on your ass all day driving and making somebody else a millionaire. I'm working on my shit. So what you're working for to pay somebody else to build, I can just build myself. I was like,
well, and you're not sucking off the tit of the government either. You're doing your own thing. So right? It's not like you're saying, well, I'm not going to hold down a job. I'm going to suck off the government. That's what the other people do.
Right. It's like, don't compare your journey to mine because we have different goals and different mindsets. Your lack of having shit is because of your choices. You know what I mean? Like my lack of having shit is from my choices. Like I'm happy where I'm at. You're miserable as fuck and thinking that you're succeeding, but I have more and I'm doing less. You know what I mean?
Well, that's how you get the mentality of those have and have nots. See, they judge you. They say, oh, well, I have a 5-bedroom house with a 2-car garage and, you know, I have a boat and this and you don't. So that makes me better than you. And that's because people got so materialistic. They
Right.
think that that kind of shit matters, and that's not what matters. You just need to experience life as you see and try to make it a happy experience while you're here. I mean, if that's whatever that might be. I remember, man, when you used to hear people, you take up different hobbies, making fishing, fly fishing lures, or cabinet making, or all. But you get a hobby because you're just trying to enjoy life. Now, people's achievements seem to be based off of what somebody. Now it's the stupid digital shit because now it's all about the likes and the views and the popularity, the influencer. There's something to be said about that label that they attach to people, influencer, yeah, because they're influencing the youth.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's why you got to watch out the way you
Later,
phrase
milkmaid.
them, you know what I mean? Because all that little shit matters. You know?
Hey, everybody, you know what? You need to make your day a good day. And you always ought to remember that the choice is up to you. So as you do things, you start getting frustrated, you get pissed, you're in control of it. So you can get as mad as you choose to want to be. And so maybe sometimes you need to take a deep breath, walk away, and figure out a different approach. Definitely pay attention to your surroundings. Stock up on shit.
Your choice to be happy or pissed at any given situation is literally the only thing they cannot take from you. You have to give them that. You know what I mean?
That's it. Make it a good day, everybody. Peace.